Hello, hello, hello. Dear guest, distinguished guest, Mr. Deputy Minister, Dr. Marquides, entrepreneurs, innovators, change makers, cool people, my friends. My name is Narek Ghazarian, and I'm the Chief Communications Officer at the American University of Armenia, and it's my absolute pleasure to host today's event. The Entrepreneurship World Cup, EWC, is the world's largest startup competition with over 100,000 applicants from 100 countries worldwide. EWC started as an idea, now supports 175,000 entrepreneurs in 200 countries. EWC is made possible by three co-host organizations: Minsk Global Forum, Global Entrepreneurship Network, and the Global Education Leadership Foundation. EWC is more than just a global pitch competition. It elevates entrepreneurs from all stages, idea stage, early stage, growth stage, or beyond, by providing them with the tools and resources to grow their ventures. This year, thanks to the efforts of Entrepreneurship and Production Innovation Center, EPIC, at the American University of Armenia, as the national organizer, Armenia, for the first time, is participating in EWC 2021. The initial organizational work to host EWC started in March. In less than a month, EPIC, jointly with the National Leadership Committee, focused all efforts into raising funds for the national finals, and as a result, EWC Armenia 2021 prize funds surpassed $100,000 in cash and in-kind prizes. The initial application deadline for the The initial application deadline for the startups to participate was June 6, which was later extended till June 13. 101 Armenian startups submitted applications to complete for the competition. Of those 101 applications, 92 startups successfully entered the national competition initial judgment phase, and the remaining applicants were eliminated due to incomplete applications. After the initial judgment phase, overall, 32 teams advanced to the semifinals. On June 6, the committee organized an online workshop for the 32 teams that were chosen as semifinalists. The workshop was led by internationally renowned pitch trainer and startup coach David Beckett. As a result of the semifinals, 12 teams passed to the national finals and will pitch their ideas later today to our jury. Out of the 12 teams in the idea stage, 3 are in the idea stage, 5 in the early stage, and 4 in the growth stage. Here is something even cooler. Considering the collective efforts of EPIC as a national organizer and the National Leadership Committee, Armenia has received an extra slot to represent the country during the EWC Global Finals. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, sit back, continue sipping on that coffee or tea that will be available throughout the entire day today, because we have an awesome day planned for you. You will hear from distinguished keynote speakers, we will have an active panel discussion, and we will hear from 12 entrepreneurs pitch their ideas to our very impressive jury. And of course, together we will announce the national winners. Let's get started with our opening remarks. First, let me direct your attention to the screen behind me for a video message from Jonathan Ortman, the president of Global Entrepreneurship Network.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Ortman, and I'm the president and the founder of the Global Entrepreneurship Network. And on behalf of all of our global partners, especially the MISC Foundation, I want to welcome you to the Entrepreneurship World Cup. Over the course of the last 3 years since we kicked off this initiative in nations across the world, we've helped more than 300,000 startups to test their ideas. Yes, they've competed for prizes, they've competed for the opportunity to get support, but in the end, all of them have got access to training, to perks, and to the networks of their peers that we hope will help them succeed if they didn't this time around. But this time around, yes, they're competing for $1 million in prizes and many millions of dollars in perks and other kinds of benefits, not to mention the training and the mentorship and the ongoing support that comes with being a part of the EWC community. We are very, very proud this year that the finals will be in November. They'll be back on back with the Global Entrepreneurship Congress, which is Jen's annual large gathering of the year of all 200 countries that we operate, that we're bringing together the leaders of those ecosystems with their startups and their investors to really take a close look alongside their governments at what the future has in store for us in this post-pandemic environment. Right now, we're seeing the roaring back of our economies, and it's time for us to take a careful and thoughtful look about where are the tailwinds, yes, but where are the opportunities for us to build back better in this post-pandemic global environment. So we'll be having that Congress. Whether you win and get into the EWC 100 and make it to the EWC final stage, it doesn't matter. You're all welcome to join the Global Entrepreneurship Congress in Riyadh in November. If indeed you're ready to get back to live face-to-face community building and relationship building, we would love to have you. More information can be made available at gec.co. But for today, we're focused on the Entrepreneurship World Cup. Welcome. We look forward to meeting all of the startups participating and look forward to seeing some of them indeed at the global gathering that takes place in November. So good luck and thank you.
Now it's my pleasure to welcome President Dr. Karin Markides of the American University for her remarks.
Thank you. Thank you. Entrepreneurship is the most important skill in our society. It is also one of the most complex skills to master and maybe the most rewarding. I'm both proud and impressed to see the engagement and professionalism that has led up to this EWC national finals here today. We all know that Armenian entrepreneurship landscape is full of energy. But what do we know about how big this potential is in this country? The engagement we see for EWC is truly encouraging for the future. At AUA, we are proud to be able to contribute through our entrepreneurial ecosystem, EPIC, in hosting this impressive process for the first time in Armenia. I'm also impressed about all the collaboration that has led up to what we see here today. A proof of outstanding teamwork, which many actors are involved in, and led by Michael Neshte and the EPIC team, is crowned by the fact that Armenia has been invited to send 2 startups to the EWC Global. Yeah. EPIC is a startup incubator based in higher education, and the role of higher education in the entrepreneurial ecosystem is framed around the fact that most inventions and intellectual assets are born in the intersection between disciplines and knowledge perspectives. The university also has the next generation of achievers and leaders, as well as forefront public and private partners. But why is entrepreneurship one of the most complex skills to master, and how should entrepreneurial education be taught? We all know that an entrepreneur should be empowered to create something that has some potential value for others. The people in this room also know that the environment to do that is characterized by uncertainty, emotions, intensity, volatility, and that an entrepreneur needs to be prepared to take action in this very challenging environment. The secret to teach an entrepreneur is therefore straightforward. You just have to teach the whole person. The knowledge front, skills, problem solving, collaboration, co-creation, design and system thinking, engagement, action-based learning, handling complex environments, transformation, internal to global connection, ethical values, and not the least, social structure with individual persons personal preferences and actions. The learning process also needs to include complex and diverse processes without any bounded conditions. And for successful entrepreneurs in the coming decade, the innovation needs to be competitive in economic, social, and ecological aspects as well. This is why this is such a rewarding development to work in this area. And I wish all the competing entrepreneurs success tonight. And I wish then also very much that they will become serial entrepreneurs in the future, because that is what Armenia needs, and that is even more rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Markides. Now it's my absolute honor to welcome on stage Dr. Michael Kuchakjan, Director of EPIC, for his opening remarks.
That's okay. Thank you, Nadeg. Welcome, everyone. So I'm going to quote Brad Feld initially. So Brad Feld is the author of the acclaimed book Startup Communities, which is used as a model for creating ecosystems. He's a VC, a venture capitalist, and is also one of the co-founders of Techstars, one of the leading accelerators in the US. So Feld says, while the range of people, organizations, resources, and conditions involved in an entrepreneurial ecosystem are useful to understand, they are not the most critical construct. Instead, it's the interaction between each of the components that matter. So each of the components. And so when we got the email from the global Entrepreneurship World Cup leaders asking us for the first time to lead the effort in Armenia, we decided that we wouldn't do this alone, that we would use this as a vehicle to work with all of the ecosystem partners in Armenia. That also overlaps with our new vision and strategy at AUA. Collaboration is an area that is being especially emphasized through reality labs. And so this overlapped with what we're trying to do now at AUA in terms of collaborating with external stakeholders. So it was in this spirit that we accepted, and we immediately got to working, setting up the National Leadership Committee. We started connecting with ecosystem partners, with the universities, and with the sponsors. And Nadeg already has mentioned how much we were able to collectively raise for the prize fund. So overall, we had over 40 organizations to support this effort. And you can see their names listed, some of their names listed on the side LED panels. And as was mentioned, we started with over 100 applications, and through various rounds, we ended up with 12 finalists. And so organizing this for the first time in Armenia for EPIC was a big task, and obviously we have many individuals and organizations to thank, and we thank them all. But I want to take advantage of standing at the lectern here just to thank a few individual organizations and individuals and organizations. So I want to start with EU for Business and the ITD project, GIZ, their leader, Mariam Babayan. Without their underwriting, none of this could have happened. And so they've underwrote all of the operational expenses for the whole competition from the very beginning up to this event, and we thank them without end. Next, I want to thank Arsen Hartunyan and the Startup Armenia Foundation. I saw Arsen. There he is. So this was our first time doing this, and we had all kinds of questions, problem after problem, challenge after challenge. Our first phone call was to Arsen, always. And Arsen would find the solution, would find a way out, and would help us solve our problems. So can't thank Arsen enough. The Angel Investor Club of Armenia, Artur, Ana, and Samson, they were the ones that helped to collect the funds from the sponsors. Datevik Hovanesyan from the Ministry of High-Tech Industry. Datevik is over there. Again, a leading problem solver for us. I cannot say more about this venue, these facilities, and this is all thanks to Ashot Hovanesyan, CEO of Synergy International, and his team. His team was here till 2 a.m. this morning, working. They were here first thing in the morning today. Such a well-organized, productive team. Congratulations and thank you. Jesus Lozano, Chusjan, may be our most popular, he's in the back, perhaps the most popular Spanish person in Armenia. For the last week, Chus has been working every day with our 12 finalist teams. And he uses all his experience and all his knowledge, and over a week they have advanced to such a degree that, Chus, thank you. And we are so lucky to have you in our ecosystem. We really are. And finally, I want to thank our EPIC team. We've already heard mention of Nejde Hovanesyan, Arpine Manukyan, Margarita Dadyan, and our work-study interns, Nona, Simona, and Armen Uhi. I'm going to ask for just a little more applause because I'm going to ask Arpine and Nejde to stand up. As really the national leader, Nejde worked night and day, Arpine at his side, and they did everything for the last 3 months to make this a success. At times I was actually in the US and they kept on working. And so really the success of this is a collective success under their leadership. So as was mentioned, we've all already seen the fruits of this effort. One, obviously, is providing training and opportunity for Armenian entrepreneurs to get better and to compete at the international level. The other goal was to continue raising the profile of Armenia on the startup, venture, and entrepreneurship map. And as evidence of that, already was mentioned of the additional slot that we have received. So there were over 200 countries that are participating in this competition. In Armenia, as a first-time participant, we were given 1 slot, like most countries in the world. And due to how well this was organized, the number of participants, and all of that, even before this competition ended, we were notified 3 weeks ago that we got the 2nd slot. What does this mean? Initially, we were hoping to have 1 final winner, and then that final winner could compete to eventually go to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to compete in the global finals from representatives from these 200 countries. Now, we have 2 teams. So we adjusted our award scheme. So now there's going to be a national winner and a national runner-up. And now 2 teams are going to compete, potentially, to go to Saudi Arabia. So that is a huge achievement, and I think speaks well to our entrepreneurial ecosystem. Something I think we should be very proud of. So again, thank you to everyone who's helped, and of course, good luck to all the teams. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Michael John, for your opening remarks. That, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our opening remarks. So I would like to officially announce the opening of the national competition. So with that in mind, let's go straight to our first and only keynote speaker today. With this, let's welcome on stage keynote speaker Aram Pakhchamyan, chairman of the board at IPE Foundation, to talk about Armenia contributing to the future by supporting a culture of collaboration. Armjan. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. I'm very pleased to be here. And frankly speaking, this is my first keynote speech in Armenia. I've been doing keynote speeches other places in the world. But interestingly, this is the first time I do it in Armenia, so pardon my mistakes. Thank you. I'll be talking about contribution. And in general, what I will be going to convey to you today is that whatever you do, especially when you do business, but even outside of business, think of contribution all the time. That's my message. And let me describe why I'm so concerned about it. Remember 2002, it was not far back. And then internet collapsed, almost. Dot-coms all blew, and there was no hope that there will be any business in internet. And if there's no business, we know that the thing will die. So everybody was very concerned about it. Everybody, but the growing communities of people who have contributed into those communities. And they wanted internet to stay because they felt it's important. And then the idea came that internet will survive due to contribution. And then all of the contribution-based platforms started to grow, and we have now this new model of internet, which is basically a large amount of information, which is mostly contributed by people. So our world is actually based now on contribution and the concept of contribution. But unfortunately, when I look around here, I don't see much of that thinking, of that mentality among people. How often do you see from your peers around that I will not share my idea with anybody because they will steal my idea and will do something with it. I will not earn a penny, so I will keep my idea to myself. That's the anti-contribution thinking. That's where you think you are the only one that can implement the same idea best. But that's not true. It's better to spend more time coming up with ideas than keeping one idea to yourself, not sharing with others, because ideas thrive in communities. When you share your idea, it becomes alive. It turns into more and more a reality. It's been contributed by other people that might support you, might criticize you, might adhere their part to your idea and move your idea forward. You'll find supporters by sharing your idea. You'll find team members. You'll find potential competitors that might, due to you sharing your idea, become your friends and your teammates. You may ultimately turn your idea into reality by sharing it, even if you are not the one who implemented that idea. A few years back, I was a head at the IPE school, and then at that time, I was considering to leave my position and let other person come over. It happened ultimately, but only 2 years later. And then I had an idea to have a nice coffee shop where a very good coffee will be sold that is roasted locally, brought in from different parts of the world, genuine quality coffee. And you know what? I never did that. But some few nice people in Yerevan have already implemented that idea. I'm very happy. I can get the result of it. I'm happy for those people. And I'm happy that my idea came into reality, not through myself, but through effort of other people. So, going further and talking about your personally, if anybody is paid in this room, you should be paid not for your hours of work, not even for your work itself, but for your contribution. Because actually, contribution that matters. So thinking when you work, how much I contribute by doing what I do, is much better than thinking of deadlines, work to be done, technicalities of the work, etc., etc. Because when you start thinking in terms of contribution, your additional mile comes natural. Your overnight meeting with your peers late in the evening becomes natural. Everything that might feels a burden becomes so natural and so obvious and so necessary, and ultimately brings you to success. Contribute to global problems. People in the world are concerned. We are facing climate change. We are facing global pollution problems. We are facing inequality problems. All of them are disastrous. All of them will kill us if we're not going to fix it. So the question is, whenever you do your business, whenever you have any idea in your mind, do you think about those things at all? Do you think you are related to those problems or not? And if you do, what you would do as part of your activity, as part of your business, as part of your contribution to the world, so that tomorrow you have customers, that tomorrow you have business at all. Because if these problems go further and destroy our world, well, your business is worth nothing today. So contribute to the economy of your country, because if your economy is not moving forward, you are not going to have any customers. Even if you have customers abroad, you are not going to have good workers. You're not going to have people that trust your business, that will invest in your business. So think how you can contribute to what the other companies do, even to what your competitors do. There are so few communities, industrial communities in our country, the organizations that represent industries. There is very little amount. There is this winemakers, I believe, organization in Armenia, association. There are a couple of others, and no more. There's a good, strong association of IT companies. But whatever business you do, think of cooperating even with your competitors, because you can contribute to the common good. Another aspect of it is your customers. Never think of your customers as individuals. They are not individuals. In the current world, all of your customers are inherently a community. They'll find each other, even with yourself being involved with it. They'll find each other and will talk about you if they are your customers. If they don't talk about you, that's a problem. It's better than when they talk. And then, are they a community of yours or not? Are you a part of your customer community or not? And how do you make them contribute into your business? Think of it. And marketing measurement and questionnaires are just the basics. Go further. Think wider. Involve them. Make them work for you. Most of them are willing, interestingly, and the more they will be willing, the more you will have your marketing team consisting mostly of your customers. So this is pieces and parts I'm trying to put together to convene a simple idea. That's what I'm talking about, is basically not just an idea. It's a philosophy of life. It's the way of action. It's how do you approach every problem. It's how do you think about your ideas. It's how do you implement it. You either think of isolated way of doing things, or you think of contribution way? And here comes another interesting topic. How many of you think of open sourcing whatever you do? Not many. In Armenia, it's not a very popular idea. Why? Well, because we think that belongs to us. We've spent money on it. We want it to be ours. But the thing is that, depending on the industry, the average time of any source code becoming irrelevant, outdated, today is few years, 2 to 3 years. In 3 years' time, your source code will be already old and inefficient. Nobody will care about it. Technologies move forward. You run behind. And if you are supported by a community of contributors, you may be more successful. Again, depending on industry. I'm not telling share your scientific secrets or whatever you really base your business on. There could be some know-hows. I don't tell you to share everything, but try to share what you can share and try to find contributors that will help you grow your product beyond what you can do. Not only investors will help you, people will help you. And how many of you think of becoming coaches or mentors? You may be a very good coach without having much experience in any area. Coaching is an experience of itself. You can coach for free. Whoever approaches you with a question, don't give an answer. Your answer is most probably wrong. But you can make this person come up with an answer himself or herself by helping as a coach. Ask proper questions. Spend time. Spend your lifetime, your energy, I mean, not a lifetime, but the time of your life, and an energy to help other people grow. Because what you want in this country, successful people. What you want in this country, successful businesses. We can only succeed together. We can't succeed separate from each other. We can only improve the economy in this country together. And here comes the question of how do we turn Armenia into something like Silicon Valley or Boston or you name it, an area where startups are growing like plants in a forest, in an area where everybody is thinking how to do something interesting, something new, something exciting. The only way of doing that is interacting, contributing as partners to each other's business, helping others grow. You've made a success, share that success. You have a partner abroad, help connect this partner with the local company. Contribute into whatever others do. Go into any startup meetups. Ask people what they do. Understand what they do. Share what they do with other people. If you are pitching at any investors panel or any competition, behind the scenes, approach and talk to the jury members or investors not only about your business, but about other businesses as well, other people that are doing something that you think these people may be interested in. Do more than only doing for yourself, because that's the only way to do something real for yourself, because that's the only way to build a community, because communities make us much stronger. So at the end of my not so long speech, and taking care about the timing and your nerves, I want to say that Armenia needs a culture of contribution. Go out to the streets. See how much could have been done much better if everybody that lives in those houses would spend a little bit more of their time and energy and money to contribute, to plant another tree, to fix a problem with the pavement, to do something that will make our streets much better, our towns much better, everything around much better. We as people that are in the front, we are visible. We are not hidden. People are looking at us as examples, as success stories. We are that are winning competitions, that are moving our businesses forward, that are succeeding. We should be role models for everybody. We should contribute and show others how to contribute. And if we do that, we'll be very strong. We'll not lose another war. We'll be much better prepared for any challenges we're going to face, because we'll be much more together than separated. And the ultimate message that I started with, I want to repeat it at the end. Make contribution your lifestyle, your philosophy. Help others to learn to contribute. Create and contribute into communities of contributors. Join those communities. And your impact, your ultimate impact on the world will increase dramatically. Thank you.
Thank you, Aramjan, for that very interesting keynote and for contributing to today's event. Now our colleagues are going to set up the stage for our very active panel discussion, so just bear with us a few seconds here while we set up the stage. Yeah? Very good. Dear friends, we're going to go ahead and get started with the panel discussion in just a few minutes, then we'll have a 45-minute coffee break. So if I could ask our friends from the back to take back their seats, we're going to get started with the panel discussion. Perfect. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, today's panel will be moderated by David Bagdasaryan, the co-founder and CEO of CRISP. The topic of the panel discussion is how to speed up the startup ecosystem maturity process in Armenia. Davidjan, would you mind introducing our panel?
Hello. Okay. All good. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm David. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really happy to be part of this event and run the panel. I think this is the second time I'm running a panel. Hopefully, it will be successful. So we have amazing, actually, guests on the panel. We have guests from very different types of organizations and also the government So we have Haik Chopanyan, Minister of High-Tech Industry. We have Mariam Babayan, Project Advisor of GIZ Armenia. We have Dr. Armen Orjan, founding CEO of FAST. Hakop Hakopian, founder of Startup Armenia Foundation. Rafi Kasarjan, Executive Director of UATE. And Dr. Michael Kuchakjan, Director of EPIC at AUA. Please welcome to the stage. Let's start it. All right, so the topic of the panel discussion is called How to Speed Up the Startup Ecosystem Maturity Process in Armenia. And I think mature startup ecosystem is the one which not only is able to produce startups or large quantity of startups, but also support them throughout their stages, right? From early seed stage to the growth stage and then to exits of the startups. I think we all will agree that we are far from that as a country, but we all will agree that we have a lot of potential to improve this ecosystem. So I think it's an interesting idea that the panel moderator is a representative of business, especially a startup, because all we do, like day long, we are trying to optimize our meetings. So I'm going to try to optimize this discussion so that it leads to some outcome, okay, an actionable outcome. So having said that, I'm going to ask our guests to name the 3 most important gaps that they see in our ecosystems, gaps and opportunities which, if addressed, our ecosystem would become more mature, right? And so we will go through that question, and we will discuss these gaps, and at the end, we are going to pick the 3 most important gaps and opportunities that we have identified and try to find solutions for them, or at least follow-ups to discuss the solutions. So let's start with Haik Chopanyan, Minister of HIT. Mr. Chopanyan, please. How do you think, what are the gaps in our current ecosystem? And let's just try to identify the gaps first.
Good afternoon. I am very glad to be here. And first of all, I would like to greet all companies and or initiatives or startups who are participating. And I think it's already a success to be part of this, and already is a part of your development. And I hope that all of you will find your road of success. And considering that today we will have winners, I would like to say that actually you won already, and you are part of our real ecosystem. And I hope in near future you will see all of you in your offices. We will discuss about your success stories, and about your rising. I'm sure that the process is going forward in Armenia, and I would like to say that mainly thanks to private sector to develop this ecosystem. It was part of a lot of initiatives and investments what we have in the last 10, 20 years, because the process mainly started from 2010s. And I think the role of government should be how to collect all players or stakeholders together in order to increase the efficiency of the process. And the second, I think we should create real tools for the development of this ecosystem. And now actually we are working on that, on the strategy. In the near future, we will start the open discussion regarding with the strategy. Second, thanks to all organizers of the event, and thank you, Mr. Hovhannisyan, for hosting us in this nice place. So I think the startup ecosystem is mainly about knowledge. Usually we are mentioning, the buildings, the technologies, etc. But I think it's mainly about knowledge. So that's why we are going again to the education. And I would like to mention that we should go to the fundamental development and change of the educational system of Armenia. And again, this is about fundamental education, but also it's about practical education and skills. And I would like to emphasize especially this direction, practical education and skills, what we need for sure to develop our entrepreneurship or startup ecosystem or our business ecosystem. The second gap, what I see in the system, is the global thinking. I think that we should emphasize that Armenian future and high-tech industry future in Armenia is about global thinking, it's about chain business, it's about global players, it's about the companies who has their branches in several countries, and especially this is needed because of the big diaspora and because of the big potential of the diaspora what we have, not realized potential. But of course, it's not only about diaspora, it's about the world, about the global world of technology, global world of high-tech, global world of R&D and science. And the third I would like to mention is about the involvement of global players of the market. This is about all value chain of the process, starting again from the education to the science or industry or manufacturing. So we need to involve in the process global players, and we need dozens of them in all chains of all value chain of startup ecosystem. So these are my 3 points regarding with this question. Thank you.
Okay, so education, like fundamental education, global thinking, and involving global players. Great, thank you. Okay, let's go to Dr. Orjan.
Thank you. I think there's going to be a lot of overlap in what we say today. First, I want to say thank you for organizing this, Michael, Nijde, and the team, AUA, for having EPIC to begin with, Ashot, for this beautiful facility. I go home every day passing your building. I didn't know you were here. I'm going to stop by and say hello often. And David, naturally, for you for moderating. For the 3 things for startup ecosystem, I like to cluster them into 3 different things. So we'll speak what Minister Chobanyan just mentioned, education. So we like to cluster them under intellectual capacity. And I think there's a lot of gaps when it comes to seeing types of elements that we need in the education skill set that we lack in the ecosystem. Second, I would say financial capacity. We don't have as big of a financial pool for us to have, number one, quantity in the seed stage startups. This is a critical thing for us to have a lot more in quantities. Statistics is statistics. 90% of the startups generally fail, so we need larger number of startups coming into the pipeline, but they need to be funded. Naturally, we have now 3 different angel networks, so this is very useful, but it's still not enough. We need some professional money that comes into this. Venture capital, we have Manuk's name, but he's not here yet, but outside of Manuk and his group, and then SmartGate, there's not too many places where early stage entrepreneurs can turn to for them to get some funding. So that area definitely needs a little bit of more help, maybe from the side of the government, but not only. Government can be only an inducer. say, starting a fund of funds or something of that nature where venture capital could be generated. And the third part is network capacity, and this is where, again, Mr. Chobanian mentioned access to global marketplace. This is critical, but we need to think of network capacity not only access to a global marketplace, but also access to skill set. So you don't have to have all the skill set here in Armenia. It's not the case, and I bet, David, as your company started taking off, you were not only relying on hiring people in Armenia. The same thing I know, but Ashot, I know he's not only hiring people. So having access to larger pool of people that you can build your solutions is also necessary. There are few activities, it's very unfortunate that Jakob will not be able to have his very fascinating and wonderful Sevan startup that we enjoyed every year for various reasons, but hopefully you'll be back next year. Our Global Innovation Forum also was something that we organized to draw investors, intellectual capital for people to be able to socialize, but also to find solutions in RM. So I think just to wrap it up, again, 3 different things: intellectual capacity, we need help there; financial capacity, I mentioned a number of things there; and network capacity. Those are the 3 areas that I would mention.
All right, thank you. And by the way, we are not aiming here to have like 18 different things mentioned. Obviously, some of the things are going to be repetitive, and Jakob is probably in the worst position in this case because so if there is an overlap of ideas, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, okay. So if there is an overlap of ideas, please feel free to just elaborate on it. Like why exactly do you think that's the most important thing? Because at the end, we are going to pick 3 things, right? Like, is it the funding really, or is it the education really, or is the global access to a larger pool of people? With that, please let's move to Dr. Kujakjan.
Thanks, David. So as Armen mentioned, I think there's going to be quite a bit of overlap, but I'm actually going to give 2 suggestions. And taking advantage of the presence of Minister Chobanian, my first comment is going to be about government and government's role. And I generally am not a supporter of government anywhere. I always am used to the private sector and the academic sector, and I generally don't look to government for answers. But in this case, actually, government does have a role, and especially the Ministry of High-Tech Industry. And that role, I think, at this point in our ecosystem is to facilitate and coordinate what we have. We have a lot of different areas. We have accelerators and incubators and investors and all of this. But there are gaps, and it can be improved. And the ecosystem can grow. One obvious area is entrepreneurship centers in universities. We're one, and there are others in Armenian universities. There are about 6 entrepreneurship centers at various levels, but there are many more universities. So, for instance, the ministry, along with the Ministry of Higher Education, can focus on that. Obviously, there's a policy role that government has, and there are some recent reports from the EU and from the World Bank that have some actionable policy recommendations that seem to me make sense. And for instance, the ministry perhaps can help implement those policies. One has to do with actually implementing programs versus leading and providing a vision. So I actually think the private sector should be tapped for leading programs. The ministry has some very successful programs, links with Silicon Valley, training programs, but maybe those could be contracted to the private sector and the ministry could focus more on vision and strategy. One example is getting information out. So Armen mentioned the angels and the VCs. We have 3 angel groups, we have 3-4 VC groups, we have 3 private equity groups, we have emerging crowdfunding. I give talks in the diaspora, and they ask me about investment in Armenia. When I mentioned that we have all these vehicles, that many of the investors are actually diasporan, And it's very easy to invest in these angel groups, into the VCs. They don't know. So one concrete suggestion is maybe the Ministry of High-Tech Industry and the Commission for Diaspora Affairs can work together to help promote at least the already existing investment opportunities that there are in Armenia. And then let me just give one more. This is a little more controversial, but we have in our ecosystem a lot of zombie startups. What are zombie startups? These are, they call it the walking dead. These are startups that have started but aren't able to get traction, aren't able to grow. And what do? They go from incubator to incubator, from accelerator to accelerator. They go horizontally, they don't go vertically. They don't go from incubator to pre-accelerator to accelerator to market to funding to investment. We need to figure out ways of killing these zombie startups. Why? Because it frees up the entrepreneurs to join other startups, to start new companies, okay? And to get over this idea of failure is a bad thing, right? We always say failure is just one step on the road to success. And so by doing this, we would free them and get over this thing that failure is a bad thing. I'll stop there.
I'm going to keep my promise and go last.
You're changing with Jacob or with me?
I'm going to go last. So you guys
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. Very nice to meet you and seeing you all here. It's my pleasure and our pleasure to see that all what we did and all what we are thinking it's a good idea. It's a good idea for you as well. So maybe together we will solve something and we will have an already mature environment for startup development. Actually, our project, ITTD, which stands for Innovative Tourism and Technology Development for Armenia, which is funded by EU and implemented by GIZ, is a player who wants to enhance startup ecosystem. Actually, saying enhance startup ecosystem, I already said that there is an ecosystem here in Armenia, and you are here as players of the ecosystem. But what is the maturity level of that ecosystem? What could be a good idea to continue, and what is already need to be stopped? You know, ecosystem is a living organism. To figure out three different things which will enhance the situation, for me that could be difficult because it will be very short-term approach for that. Maybe I will repeat the major thing which Mr. Chobanyan already mentioned about the education. However, ecosystem itself is so broad that only education will not play the role that we are expecting to have. Actually, I was reading an article last day, and there was a very nice, broad character. Is it possible to have that photo on the screen? If no? Yes, unfortunately no. Actually, there was a very nice description of the mature ecosystem. And it is very complex. It's starting from the culture of building entrepreneurship, going to the cycle, and exiting as an already existed company. But at that time, there are governmental support coming, like intellectual property rights, like taxation, like support the different strategies and laws for which will support the situation. On the other hand, these financial contributions. So this is complex view, and we as a project, let's say, here you are companies, but we are very, in a short-term life, we are a project. We want to support this organism to live. And if, again, coming back, what you want to highlight as an important, I would say maybe internationalization. So go-to-market will be the thing that I would highlight as an as a not duplication, whatever was said, because I totally agree with all whatever has been mentioned so far. Yeah, and maybe this is...
I think it's like, as I mentioned, right, there is no need to try to identify new areas if you already agree with the ones.
The only suggestion that I would have, maybe there could be a good idea to have a study for the maturity of Armenian ecosystem, startup ecosystem. This study will show where we stand. And with this study, it will be clear which elements, which priorities need to be prioritized at this moment. Because as I said, this is a living organism and it's growing today and it will be different for tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah. I want to say I want to congratulate the organizers. As an organizer myself, I know how hard it is to organize something and to put everything together. I will pass through the 3 points that I have mentioned here. The first point is the values. The values like startup ecosystem or startup community as in particular, and the whole Armenian community or society, we can say, lacks values, I guess. And sometimes I see a lot of problems because of this gap of values, real values. I mean, whether person to person or company to company, we really need some certain values throughout which we work, communicate together. And sometimes I see that we have some fake values where we show something, but in fact we are not carrying these values deep inside. And I think that this is not something, as I already mentioned, that we can see only in startup ecosystem, but in our society in general. But here, as a startup ecosystem is much smaller, I guess we have more opportunities to solve this problem and maybe even pass this to other sectors or fields as well. Second part, I would say startup policy. Or management of startups. And I don't think, by saying this, I don't think that this is something that ministry should do. I think that we as main players, we can come up with the startup policy. We, in Startup Armenia, we are working on it, and we can kind of create this, and of course, together with the ministry and other players, we can have something in our minds that, as Mariam mentioned, where we are right now and where we are moving, and what are the whole points in this like milestones in these directions. And also, I would like to mention about stereotypes and myths that really are making our path in this through these goals really difficult. We have several stereotypes like we Armenians are very clever, or I don't know, like these type of things, stereotypes, which are making like, I've seen so many startups, not only in Sevan Startup Summit, but in different other events and places. They think about themselves really not realistically, let I say. They have so many myths that are making our life actually very difficult. So creating real stereotypes of a good startup and popularizing that. So PR of making, let's say, like David and Artavaz or other successful people as a role models, creating them as a real role models instead of creating like fake or myths. These are the 3 things that I would like to mention. Thank you.
Thank you all, and I agree with everything that was said. I'll be very specific. I think we need more product managers because we spent the last probably 70 years, if not the last 20 years, developing great technologists. And what we need more of is people that can think in terms of what the customer wants. And it's not just thinking about how the customer wants, it's actually asking customers. It's working with them day after day after day. And if you think about the typical startup pitch, in fact, you're probably going to see those today, right? It's what's the problem you're solving, how are you going to solve it, and how is it better than how other people are solving it. That process is something that we don't teach enough about. We don't practice enough in our companies, and I'll start with myself. I did 4 product launches in my life throughout my career, and all 4 times I thought I had the perfect answer, not because I thought I was smarter than everybody else, but I thought because I thought enough about it. And my biggest mistake was not listening early on, was not asking enough people, not being able to admit that something I thought of was wrong. And that whole process of engaging with the customer is super important. So kind of the functional product manager, number 1. The other one is analogous to that. It's I call it like the business product manager, right? What's the 4th slide that goes in the pitch deck? What's your TAM, right? What's the addressable market? How are you going to get there? The idea of taking, what is the right solution to a problem and thinking how are you going to grow that? Or what is the addressable market? Again, I think we've done a lot of work over the last few years, but it's something that, it's always easier to think about how to solve something technologically than it is to think how am I going to take this from a local level to a national level to a global level. And the third one, I think we've made the most progress in, but we need to continue to focus on it. This gets back to Adam's point about contribution. I think having mentors and having examples are super important. So that, and what's been very enheartening for me over the last 2 years probably, is seeing the number of more successful startup founders and CEOs taking the time to engage with younger ones. And that's something that is completely organic. That's something that, the ministry can't organize, the universities can't really organize. This is really about each person, whether it's through Technodune or some of these other people getting together or having late time coffees or Sevan Startup, where you see, that's kind of at the heart of what you guys do, right? So I think those 3 things will really enable us to go from just sort of a technology-driven industry startup ecosystem to a more complete ecosystem. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. You made my job really difficult now. Like, we did end up with 18 different ideas. 17. Okay, we can call it 18. So a lot of ideas. I think there is an overlap in these ideas, right? What I would like to do is actually, to make this actionable, let's focus on some very specific problems, right? Because when we focus on them, we can try to solve. We mentioned fundamental education. I'm not sure we can do anything specific about it, right? There are a lot of ongoing, activities around them. So, like how to, produce more scientists, and so that they help the startups and so on. It's government and higher education has a lot of things to do there. Global thinking is super important in my understanding. So, like, one of the things that, yes.
We can name just one from the 3 that we have already mentioned, then the one that is most important for us, and then your job will be easier.
Okay. I was actually going to do that, but I was going to choose the one instead of you, because I'm the moderator, I can't afford that to me. So I really think that the 2 items that you mentioned, Mr. Chobanyan, are really important, like the global thinking, right? Like, one of the successes that, one of the reasons that CRISP is successful is because we were thinking globally from day one. So, we thought about US basically from day one, and today, as we are thinking about our company, it's a global company. We have presence in 8 different countries. So, what can we do? Or whoever wants to take that question, what can we do to change that mindset that here we have in Armenia, that to start thinking more globally, right? This business that we are building, especially because our economy is small, you have to think globally if you want to be successful, if you want to build something, you know, really big. Whose role is it? Is it government's role? Is it education's role? Like, what is it?
I would like to mention that when I said an education, it's not only about fundamental education. It was about practical education and skills as well. So I would like to put in the agenda this topic also for the further discussion. But coming to the global thinking, I think we need to emphasize two directions. First, mainly we can call long-term, and the second one short-term. So because we should start from something in order to reach already long-term process and then the results. I would like to start from the long-term ones, and I think it's about, generally it's about culture. And this is also very fundamental. We should start from the born of the child and to continue to the education, to continue to the environment what we have around us, general environment, and putting in the agenda this topic, we can actually formulate what kind of activities we should do in order to make us more with the more global thinking culture. So this is a nice one. I think it's difficult question, but also very easy, because actually we have an idea how to solve this problem, but unfortunately it's not short-term result process. We were ready to start it immediately with the actually all players, stakeholders, and the parts and components of the Armenian community, or not only Armenian, but as I said before, I think the Armenian community, Armenian world, could be named very often, because we should think widely. Usually I say that when we are speaking about Armenian high-tech industry, it's not about Armenia. It's about all industry. As you mentioned correctly, just that your success came also from that global thinking somehow. And even Armenian high-tech industry restarted from the intervention of Armenian community in US mainly. It started from 2000s when Armenians from US started to invest in Armenian high-tech industry. Even in the second stage, we started from 2010 when we started to go to the products, to go to the engineering. Again, it was about diaspora. I would like to mention National Instruments. They started new era of Armenian engineering. And in this stage, which started from 2020, the next 10 years or next decade, we should understand that the success also depends on the diaspora as well, or global thinking, all Armenian thinking. But in order to have short-term results, I think we should formulate or reformulate the diaspora. And I think this is not good name. First of all, we should start from this. And for us, for example, we found some solution. We are calling it high tech. We mean a high technology community, so Armenian technology community. So if we say high-tech community, we mean Armenian technological community. So, and I think in near future, speaking more about this, through the PR, marketing, through the new initiatives, success stories like CRISP, etc., we can change the situation. We can make the culture what we need to have, what we need to develop in order to win in our way of success, I mean Armenian way of success. So I think that's all for this moment, but for me and for us, it should be topic which could be on our agenda from the tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, so I completely agree with you, Mr. Chobanyan. So I think global thinking happens when people from outside come to Armenia, right? Because that's how they share their knowledge. That's how they, like, it's highly connected to the other one, the involving global players. Like if the global companies didn't come to Armenia, a lot of the innovation, the startups wouldn't happen. So these are very interconnected. I think, like, yeah, you want to add something?
Yes, I want to add and continue the thoughts of Mr. Chobanyan, but I want to tackle the issue from the different angle. The difference is that I want to say that important that startups in Armenia start to think globally. It's not that Armenia diaspora contribute in startup years in Armenia, but maybe the other way around. Startups start to think globally, so produce something which has global value. It's not something which is produced here, Armenians for Armenia, but Armenians for globe. So this I was named internationalization. This was I was saying when I was talking about the go-to-market. And an example was at very recent events which has happened here in Armenia some 2 months ago, when a German very big sub-company started their contribution here in Armenia together with Bana Angels Network. So means that here we are preparing startups from to be here, located in Armenia, producing B2B products, not B2C for customer, but for businesses. And this is much more important because it is already for wide, it is already for globe. So my project is working on that. My project is enhancing this kind of interlinkages. And I think that not only Armenian diaspora has kind of a role to play here, but also from our side, we need to produce a product which has a worldwide. So SAP is an example, but this is, I believe, not the only one. And I hope that in the future here, not only we, but everyone who is doing and saying something in this ecosystem need to think about this internationalization.
Yes, agree. Actually, global thinking and internationalization, I think they are pretty much the same idea, right? Producing products here and then taking them globally. So absolutely, I agree. The second point I would like to, get your feedback is about, funding, right? Do you think funding is not enough in Armenia? And if yes, then whose role it is to bring more VCs or create more funds, and what actually we can do to do that? So let's start with the first question. If there were like 10x more funding in Armenia, would that actually produce or help produce more startups or not? Who wants to take that?
Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
So within the continuum of early stage startup all the way to mature startup and growth, my opinion from the very early stage is that there aren't enough fundable startups. So actually, I believe right now in the earlier stage, there's enough money in the ecosystem and more money will come in if there were more fundable startups. I think actually what would deserve more money is companies that are already growing, and I'm sort of getting out of the startup area into the private equity area, or you can acquire companies existing in Armenia, provide new management, provide Western markets, and use private equity investment to move them forward and to grow them.
So are you saying that for early stage, we don't need additional, or we do, but additional or 10x more money wouldn't move the needle to produce more like?
I don't think what
Okay.
will happen, and I'm seeing a little bit of that, is if funds like angels and VCs, if they get more money, they're obligated to invest that money. What actually happens is they start investing in lower quality startups. Those lower quality startups aren't able to mature and turn into growing startups, and actually the investors lose money. So that balance is very important in terms of fundable companies versus the investment that matches them. And I would say let the market decide. The market should decide that.
Interesting. Rafi, did you want to add?
Pretty much the same thing.
Oh,
so-
okay. Okay. And we can also argue that if a company has already seen some traction and growth, they could potentially bring money from outside, right? If they are not able, something is not working right. Okay, so interesting. The third one, I'm going to be very picky because I have that power today, is the product managers and business product managers that Rafi you mentioned. I think it's like I can definitely second that. One problem we see at CRISP is that there is like a very big shortage of product managers. So people who can do market analysis, analysis of user behaviors, understand what's needed in the market, and actually come up with ideas. And then the business product managers who can, identify go-to-market and actually execute that. So, and I think we have a lot of engineers, and based on that, we were able to produce a lot of very, very cool startups. But for the second stage of growth, and from education maybe perspective, we need that. Like, what can we do to change that? And there has been an ongoing discussion about this in the industry. So it would be great to know your opinion as well.
Well, what's interesting is that when I first started my career, right after graduating from undergrad, I wanted to be a product manager. And I was told straight out, and this was after my BA, if you don't have an MBA, you can't be a product manager. Because at the time, product management meant you were in an established firm like a consumer products company or even in technology, and there were very strict barriers to entry to get into that profession. I mean, luckily, because of the number of startups we have, I think people get thrown into that role whether they've studied it or not. I do believe, though, and this is where I think there is a direct connection with universities or alternative education programs, to have the fundamentals taught around product management. And that's everything from sort of design-based thinking to always sort of customer first, and then the business aspect of that. In fact, actually, that's a conversation I'm supposed to have soon with Dr. Vacha Gabrielian about how we can do more of that at AUA. So.
Okay. Well, does anyone have any idea, like any specific idea about how we can produce more product managers? Though I'm gonna repeat that question because I really think that's important. So because the product managers, by their training and by their experience, are the ones that are more likely that will start a startup because they have a wider view of the problems. Like maybe from AUA perspective, maybe from GIZ or ACO, if you have some thoughts about that, anything that maybe we should just bring product manager, or maybe there must be a governmental program to somehow, bring more product managers and.
I would like to mention about two projects that we are running right now. First is called Startup Clubs, which is a kind of kindergarten for startups. We came up with this idea when we did 2-3 versions of CSI Startup Summit, and then we understood that actually, first insertion when we were thinking about creating Startup Summit or this kind of event was that there are a lot of ideas and a lot of very active young people, that if we will create an environment, the ecosystem is going to kind of rocket. That's why when we first two editions of Startup Summit, we find out that actually we have a lack of startuppers and people with ideas. So we said, okay, in that case, if we see the solution of a lot of other problems in creating startups in Armenia and creating startup ecosystem, or helping to create a startup ecosystem in Armenia, then we need to go to the kind of creating these startuppers or educating them. And that's why we created these two projects. First one is called Startup Clubs. As I said already, a kind of a kindergarten where we are starting educating from like very early age, beginning from 8 years. Right now we are running from 10 to 12, 13 years. And then we have the second project, which is called Startup Schools. And you know, here we don't teach, I mean, of course we pay attention to coding, engineering and robotics, but mainly me and my team, we are focused on developing the skills that you were mentioning more. I mean, we have, of course, we have lack of coders as well. I know that, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000, I don't know, maybe 10,000 coders are needed right now. And I know that there is a competition between some companies to take, but still I'd say that this is not our job. I mean, Startup Armenia Foundation is focused on creating these people with the mindset that they are going to create a product, or they are going to move forward the product that has already come to the stage. So this is what we already do, and right now we are working on creating, I mean, 3-4 years we have created this the curriculum of these two projects, and right now we are working on Startup University project.
Can I go next? So I just want to mention, in terms of product management, a concrete thing we tried to do, or we plan to do at EPIC. So 2 years ago in the summer, we took a dozen students to Silicon Valley, and they spent 2 weeks touring companies in Silicon Valley, lectures, workshops, intense schedule in Silicon Valley. In our meetings, and we went to Facebook, and we went to Google, and Amazon, and NVIDIA, all of these companies. In all of these companies, there are Armenians working there, and they hosted us, and we had lunch with them. And one of the things we talked about, because everyone knows, even in the diaspora, that product management is a problem. We thought in the following year, unfortunately COVID stopped that program, to send students from here as interns to work in Google, to work in Amazon, to work at Facebook, these other companies, for 3 months, just to get a taste of product management. Obviously, in 3 months, you're not going to learn much, but at least it'll be a start. So this is a practical project that perhaps we can think about.
Yeah, that's amazing.
May I?
Yeah, absolutely.
May I also share with our experience with this issue? You know, as I said, I am working with EU-funded ITTD project. However, our contribution to startup ecosystem starts much earlier, starting from 2016. We were working with startups, and experience shows that having an entrepreneurial mindset is absolutely not enough to have a successful startup, at least at the very beginning. This is the reason that we have already launched different projects. Programs. One was with Catalyst Foundation. It's a pre-acceleration program, which is for startups which are already got kind of traction, and also with new startups. We have this project synchronized with our grant scheme, so this is kind of an coherent approach to have developed startups ecosystem. However, one gap we saw during last 2 years, it's absence of regular incubator next to the universities or other institutions. So nowadays we are thinking, and maybe in very soon we will start to establishment of incubators. One could be next to EPIC, maybe next to TUMO, maybe next to ANEL, French University, kind of when students are having a good idea, someone needs to take this student, this person from that stage to the startup stage in a way that, as Michael said, that they are not zombie startups, that they are followed from one stage to another and get a proper education, proper skills, and finally get successful.
Okay, so I've been just notified that we are running out of time.
Last one, I think there is another opportunity which is again connecting with the internalization of our startups or our companies or our businesses. So you should find the best specialists in the abroad and to invite them to be part of our companies. So it can be physically or remotely, but there are a lot of opportunities to open branch, let's say, or small office in US, or to invite people here. I think that the migration of the specialists should be one of the main changes what we will see in the industry in the next future, and this is and the development is impossible without this. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. So we are running out of time. I think this demonstrates a typical route for an entrepreneur who thought that within 50 minutes we can identify your problems and then have a follow-up on them. But I was very optimist. Then, I faced the hard reality. But I think at least we had a discussion, and I think this discussion can continue. So if someone from the group is interested to take the lead and repeat this discussion so that we can talk more and identify the problems, very specific problems, which will boost the ecosystem, I think that we will be very happy that we at least achieved something, right? Thank you very much. Thank you for your thoughts.
All right. Thank you, Davidjan, for moderating this very active panel, and thanks to our panelists for their active discussion. Friends, we're going to take a 45-minute coffee break in the back. We'll be back in 45 minutes to start the pitching sessions. Before we begin, by the way, I'm sure most of you have seen it already, but there are programs in your bags so you could follow through the process also. So before we begin the first pitching session, I would like to recognize and thank our distinguished jury that will be evaluating and judging today's competition. So I'm going to call out their names, and then later we'll give them a round of applause. So Dr. David Sahakian, Deputy Ministry of High-Tech Industry, Manuk Herginyan, co-founder and managing partner at Grantis Ventures, Artur Alavertian, co-founder of FAST, Ashot Hovanesian, CEO of Synergy International Systems, Artavaz Yerityan, CEO and founder of Podcastle, Inga Vartanian, representative from Soft Construct. Join me in thanking our distinguished jury today. So our 12 finalists have been working really very hard to get ready for today's competition. Under the leadership of Chus, they have practiced over and over and perfected their presentation. So joining me in thanking Chus one more time for his dedication to this event. All right, I think we're getting ready to start with the first finalist. Our finalists are here, ready to go. Perfect. So we're going to start with the idea stage. So the way it's going to go down, our teams will have 3 minutes to present to the jury. After that, we will have 6 minutes Q&A from our jury, and then we'll go on to the next team. So let's start with the first finalist from the idea stage. Let's welcome Mr. Fast.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Every office worker spends 19 days during a year on doing repetitive tasks. And as a result, an average US company loses over $176,000 on tasks that can be easily automated. So the problem is reflected in two ways: time or money spent on doing repetitive tasks. Personally, we faced this problem when our marketing team needed to scrape data about our target audience in order to contact them. That's when we decided to make an automation that will do that for us. And all we need to do, just provide a URL and click launch button. As a result, we get an Excel file with the huge data as numbers, names, and emails of thousands of companies. And this was done within 6 hours instead of 7 working days. Here, when the idea was born, I am the co-founder and CEO of Mr. Fast. We create a platform where users can make their custom automations or use from ready-made hundreds of automations to automate their repetitive tasks. Our solution is time-saving, money-saving, and most importantly, it's coding-free and accessible for everyone. Our technology gives opportunity to run hundreds of automations in the cloud, which means Mr. Fast will do your tasks even when your computer is turned off. We are in marketing automation software industry, which has $3.6 billion market value in 2020, and it's predicted that in 2027, market size will be $11.4 billion. Our main competitive advantages are coding-free automation creation by request, and the live tracking of the automation process. Our main business model is B2B SaaS. We sell monthly subscriptions based on the number and running time of automations. We have creator encouragement system, which means that creators can earn money when others use their automations. We plan to reach our customers with our digital marketing strategy, which includes search engine optimization, social media marketing, also direct sales as cold calls and meetings via our networks. We plan also to have email campaigns for both existing and new customers. Our team consists of the experienced professionals who have held chief officer positions in the companies such as Seaside Startup Summit or Render Forest. Besides us, the team also includes an experienced developers, designers, and marketing specialists who are all involved full-time. We have faced the problem and starting development in 2020. We plan to have a pre-launch in August. We already have a working prototype and testing users, and we will have fully ready product in the market in 2022. Thank you for your attention.
So what kind of tasks you are automating? Like any kind of task, like for example, our use case, like we are finding influencers online. So can we kind of automate that task and find really targeted influencers with just drag and drop on your platform?
Thank you for your question. You can see here a few of our automations as examples. You can see that most of them are working on the famous platforms, and there are their descriptions. For example, you can extract LinkedIn profiles, names, and jobs, and position of everyone from a certain company. Also, our automations are not just scraping data, can do any actions. As you can see, send direct messages on Facebook or comment on social posts, and everything you can do. Also, we have a working process example here. This automation can be used for marketing specialists to collect data about users who are active in their competitors' social media accounts. So as you can see, red circle is the pointer. It's going to the profiles, and when the data was open, it's collecting that. Also need to mention that our automations can solve different types of CAPTCHAs. That makes our automation process more soft.
And what is the underlying technology? Is it Selenium underneath, under the hood, like classic automation stuff, or you use some like AI technologies to analyze all of this scrap data, or is just an like regular automation?
For now, we are not using AI, but we plan to use machine learning for making that process when user will make new automation without coding work more professional. But core technology is that there are many virtual machines in the cloud which will open and your task will have done there.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Who are your end users? End users are just the users or programmers who create special programs using your automation?
Thanks. Our main target audience are marketing and sales specialists and team who mostly use these type of automations.
If so, then you are competing against CRM systems?
No, CRMs, we can see few of our main competitors here. They are Zapier, Parabola, Phantom Buster, and IFTTT, but they are working on a little niche and giving limited features with limited number of automations. And we plan to cover all the needs of automation of the user with the feature of requesting new automation and the feature that they all can make new automation without any coding skill.
Can you hear me? Sorry, I'm still confused. Who is your end user? So you are automating different tasks of the end user, and who is the end user? Can you describe in specific words the profile of a user that facing specific problem?
Yes, of course. When sales team, like I can explain our problem that we already have. We have made some proposals and we needed to send them to the companies from the California, and there was few thousand of companies. So we needed to scrape the data like hotels from California and send them massive emails. So that's all process was automated by our automation.
What's your core competitive advantage versus other competitors?
As you can see, none of them is giving a feature to request an automation by user's need. So there are ready-made automations, but that cannot be enough for the user. Also, just a few of them have a feature of coding-free automation creation. That means that you need to have coding skills to make a new automation based on your needs.
Since you are in the marketing automation space, so your go-to-market strategy should be like very different, very excellent, and you should have a lot of knowledge about that. What you showed in another slide, it was like traditional marketing channels, like what is your unique distribution channels, like what is your unique advantages there? Since you are doing something in a space which involves a lot of marketing knowledge, I think your slide about go-to-market strategy should be like very compelling and like crazy good and excellent. So can you like elaborate more on that? Like what is your GTM there and what is unique about it?
Yes, that was absolutely right. So we plan to use our automations to collect data about our audience and send them massive emails, massive proposals, and that will take us very few hours instead of many days. So I think that our growth will be more easier and faster than it's predicted to be.
If Parabola can do this automation creation without coding, why Parabola cannot do new automations by request? So
because they are working just only little niche, and also they have not any ready-made automations. Also need to mention that Parabola's automations are working on your computer, not in the cloud. That means your computer will be busy. Thank you too.
Thank you very much. Okay, wonderful. All right, we have representatives from Robotal.
Remember the presentation? Don't remember. Remember the cases when your lunch was delivered late? Or maybe the awkward feeling when you kinda have to tip, but you don't want to. Every third delivery person in the US confessed they sneak a portion of your food. Hi, my name is Haik. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Robodel, and we prepared high-tech solution to the last mile deliveries. Food delivery industry is one of the most established ones. However, restaurants pay on average $5 for each delivery, which is around 9% of their order revenue. Customers pay up to 20% of the order amount as a tip. The delivery speed is inconsistent, and there are concerns about the food safety. So Robodel plans to make deliveries faster, cheaper, and safer. And to do so, we offer delivery services held by self-driving, sidewalk and bike lane drivable delivery robots, initially targeting the restaurants in the US. The restaurants just need to place their orders in our network and pay for each delivery, on average $3.50. And we anticipate to get up to $1 delivery tip from customers. The delivery market in the US is around $27 billion. However, considering the density of the restaurants, locations, weather, and many other factors, we initially plan to operate in a market worth for $1.4 billion. So in order to make all this come true, these three handsome guys created Robodel. Altogether, we have 30 years of experience in robotics, engineering, operations, finance, and legal. Artak, being a data-driven person, cut the annual expenses of his ex-employer for 30%. He developed the first prototypes. Oninda, head of our robotics, created a special system for the satellites to interact and communicate with each other in this space. I have experience of managing an international team of 170 people in 8 countries and managed an annual budget of $8 million. However, the key to our success is our team of technology enthusiasts. We have 6 PhDs, a Mars rover engineer in our team. And this team has worked on this project for almost 1 year and developed the first version of the software, are almost finalizing the hardware design, stimulated the robot in virtual reality, and won a grant from Europe for Business and GIZ in amount of 10,000 euros to assemble the first prototype. And as soon as we have the first prototype, we'll be testing it with Globing and Menu AM, with whom we already have initial agreements. And 20K price will be a great contribution for developing the software alpha version. And the acceleration program will be great for getting acquainted with international investments. So we plan to make deliveries faster, cheaper, and safer. Thank you.
Are you mainly in creating robots and their software, or the business of arranging restaurants to deliver their product? Because these are two very different businesses.
We create both the robot and provide the services of deliveries through the robots. So we target the restaurants who work directly with their customers. Like 55% of the orders in the US are made directly from the restaurants, instead of Uber Eats, Grubhub, and other platforms. So these restaurants try to save on their expenses and be freed out from the hassle of communications with the delivery people. Like almost every second delivery person causes some complaints for the customers, like not going out from the car or something.
So that's understood. So are you competing against drones?
Drone is another topic because drones are forbidden for usage in inhabited areas. For example, in the US, only Amazon is allowed to use drones and for deliveries in the rural areas.
But I believe these robots also would have a lot of regulatory and other obstacles because they are going to drive on pedestrians, right? Not
correct,
on,
correct. You're right. But here is the case that there are 4 main directions that the local and state governments take. The first one is they just sit down and observe how it goes. The second one, they have strict regulations banning such deliveries. The third one is having some sort of regulations. For example, in San Francisco, after one robot was burned out, they just provided a small area for tests and with limited number of robots. But the fourth type of cities and states are those who understand that this is the future anyway. So they try to make some regulations, for example, limits of the weight, limits of the speed, etc., in order to set these operations in a correct way. So, for example, why it is the right time to start it now? Because a few years ago, for example, some European Union countries and some states in the United States already started establishing this. So they know that sooner or not, they will have to deal with this. They have already regulatories for the self-driving cars, which are like, imagine 2-ton car, which is driving on the streets. And surely the robots, which are weighing just 40 kilos or more or less, they are less dangerous.
Can the robot be lost then on its way to get lost? And then how, yes, and then how someone who ordered food would somehow locate it?
So the robot uses cameras, sensors, and LiDAR. I speak about our robot, which at first provides them access to the environment. The second part that we do, we use AI to locate the robot on the map. The third point is to calculate the route. So whether they can get lost, it might be because of not having enough information about the environment.
Okay.
But
so you have now just an idea about this, or you have a robot already built?
No, the robot isn't built yet. We have tested in virtual reality with millions of items. And we won a grant from GIZ, which will be like, in 4 months, we predicted that we will finalize the assembling of the robot here in Armenia. And we will test it here in Armenia as well.
But you showed a large group of people already. What they do? Who pays them?
Oh, you mean the team, okay?
Yes.
So the team works, no one pays to them because, as I said, they are technology enthusiasts. They work pro bono, and what attracts them is the idea of having participated in this project. Surely, as soon as we have investments, we will hire some of them. Yep.
Do you have competitors?
I love this question. We have 2 types of competitors. The first type are the human deliverers, compared to whom we are 25% cheaper. Why? Because human beings, they cannot go down for a certain level of income. The second group are the other robot delivery companies, but compared to them, we are 75%, at least 75% faster. Why? Because we use technology of driving on the bike lanes and sidewalks, while they use only technology of riding on roadways, traffic roads, and sidewalks. But the reality is that no one goes on the streets because they felt that there are many cases, there are chances of high risks of getting into accidents. Thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you very much. All right, so we have the last finalist in the idea stage, Stream Meal, also known as Rush.
Before they start, can I have a general request to all the participants? Can I ask all the presenters to talk like 15% slower when they describe the product and very clear of what is the product? Because if you do not understand what is the product, the rest of the presentation is lost.
Yes. Hi everyone, my name is Haik. I am the CMO of Rouge, known as Team Meal. First of all, let's meet Gordzan Ramzai, which is an Instagram food influencer, having millions of followers and earning money by content. There are another millions of influencers there on the market. That's why food is everywhere on social media. After studying Gordzan, we find out 42 million food bloggers and influencers with 1.2 billion foodies and followers for them. And starting from 2017, invisible market is rising with 30% growth rate, and frequently talked by entrepreneur Forbes and BBC, telling that how food court posted on social media gain a new blue ocean for entrepreneurs. But don't want to sound really weird, but there is a hashtag food porn that gained like 300 million followers only just on Instagram. You see another big statistics on Instagram and TikTok. So guess what? That influencers don't have opportunity to monetize their food with their followers. Meet Rouge social food community, helping influencers to sell their food live streaming to their followers coming from other social media channels. They just invite the followers from social media channels to Rouge to stream premium content and sell and start bidding from their followers to gain the meal. Our business model is based on B2I, business to influencers, and anticipated revenue is coming from commission-based premium fee and advertising services. Market size, serviceable market is $2.5 billion right now and has more than forecasted 30 billion. And we have, sorry? It was 1 minute or just 10 seconds? 1 minute. Oh, okay. Sorry. 5 seconds. All right. So we position ourselves as social media food selling community, differentiating us from YouTube and Instagram. Our go-to-market strategy is based on referral program, influencer sales, and pushing brand awareness through PR. We are looking for investment finishing our app, and this is the team who is standing behind the scene with 10 plus years of experience and that knows with 10 million users with another project. And business managers and unique experience in startup ecosystem. And if you are interested in building the future of food, just take a meeting and let's talk. Thank you.
Can you go back to the competitors slide? Can you explain this again?
Explain it?
Yeah, why you are on the right top?
All right.
Every startup puts them on the right top corner.
Yeah, it's
I want to understand why specifically you are there.
All right. On the north side, you see social digital arrow and salesy. So
sales? What is that dimension? What does sales mean?
So these are the applications that selling with boutique communities, the influencing marketing from different topics like fashion, traveling, food, and adult services there. And these are the informational marketplaces that sell the just content. In order to give more explanation, it's like influencer which is making the food. His or she doesn't have opportunity to sell the food directly to the follower.
So in this case, she's going to sell directly?
Yeah, with bidding.
With bidding.
The
so
follower bids for his loved influencer to get the food.
What's your innovation here?
Innovation?
Yeah.
We are creating new environment, boutique community environment for influencers to give opportunity to sell its products, foods with bidding services. And also it creates opportunity to go with closer relationship with followers.
So you're sure that the influencers are eager to sell themselves and no one is providing the environment to do so, and you have the unique kind of offering in that?
Yeah, it's amazing, but from one from audience, knowing Gordon Ramsay, one of the good influencers in food influencing, so he told me he's going to pay $10,000 to get his food, and he even tasted in Las Vegas.
Do you have traction?
Traction? Yeah. It's idea stage, still building the MVP.
Okay. Do you have funding or not?
Funding? No.
Not yet. Okay. Thanks.
I think your numbers about the hashtags food are a bit irrelevant because I think a lot of people from these 1 billion people who is posting with a food hashtag, they are eating food and not making food. But your user target is the people who are making food, right?
Yeah, our users are influencers. This number showing people who viewed content and they are eating the food first of all with their eyes. But we are giving opportunity in order they could taste it from the...
Yeah, and why you think if people would want to sell food that they are making, they will not be able to do it on Instagram today? because like Instagram is providing almost all the tools. You have your community there, you have your followers there, you have everything there, so you can just sell it. You have the functionalities to sell. Why your platform is different? Why you think you will make kind of this space different? Why they cannot sell it on Instagram?
This is what we tell with our team, like differentiating us from marketplaces, as they are more informational and marketing with content, and they are not making enough money that they can make from here. It's like a boutique environment for these influencers, and this is an opportunity for them to connect with their followers with experience.
Yeah, that's a bit hard to get, because the whole idea of Instagram to be connected with those followers and to sell them. So I think this is not a question, but this is more of a comment. I think your storyline and how you are different should be better, and put it on your pitch deck, because you will every time get this question, so what, how you are different from Instagram? Like Instagram has that, what is the differentiator? So you need to put like in a great way, what's your unique advantage, what is your GTM, how you are different from Instagram. This is like, you need to explain this much more.
Honestly said, there are another application. Honestly said, there are another application in different topics like fashion and travel, doing the same thing for influencers. Just validated market. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you very much. All right, so that was the 3 representatives from the early stage, idea stage, so we're moving into early stage now. And our first finalist is Cyber Tech.
Hi, I am Tigran Janyan, and I CEO of Cybertech high-tech company. And I'm here to represent the new generation of person biometric authentication system. Do you know that 100 times per day we have to use keys, bank cards, ID documents, username and passwords? And they can be stolen, we can lose them, they can be hacked, and they can be copied. And it costs billions of dollars. We have solution for that. It's fingerprint technology. You can find fingerprint scanners on door locks, on laptops, on ATMs, on smartphones, but there is a huge problem. Fingerprint can be easily copied and then used. Someone, for example, can cut your finger and then use your fingerprint. Now I am here to represent you the new generation of person authentication, biometric authentication. Our technology is based on human finger blood vessels map scanning. Human finger blood vessels is much more unique than Face ID and much more unique than fingerprint. Our technology uniqueness is based on our technology of scanning and the algorithm of data gathering. Our end users is not our customers. Our customers are the integrators. And our business model to produce and sell to the integrators integrated ready scanners. Our market is huge, about $21 billion. And here you can see the industries that can definitely use our product. Behind of our achievements is standing our innovation team. Also, we have the board of advisors. Here you can see all success points that we have already achieved and what we are going to do in future. Our idea was generated in 2017. Now we already have laboratory prototype and we have MVP. We have 3 pre-signed contracts, and now we are negotiating with 3 institutes to to test our scanner on real tissue. Thank you, and I'm ready to answer to your questions.
Excuse, do you have patents for your
Yes,
algorithms?
yes.
Where are they registered?
They are registered in Armenian. First, our patent we take from Armenia, then in US.
But you have to know these algorithms are not new. Maybe 20 years ago already many companies started creating algorithms for these vessels recognition, pattern recognition. And even I think US CIA or FBI, I think they were using. There was some reason that it did not it did not compete maybe with fingerprints, maybe for some reason, I don't know why. And second, maybe already some of the companies have patented algorithms and they're waiting that someone will come up with the system like you and that they will sue you to get money from your company. Please, tell us.
Thank you. Today only two companies have patented the technology of blood vessel map scanning. It's Fujitsu and Hitachi, Japan-based companies. And when we have talked with him, and they haven't the same patents as we. There are some nuances. They are different. I'm not technical man, I can't tell you.
But how we can understand what differentiates your product in the market? So you're saying you cannot answer the question, what's the difference between your product and whatever Fujitsu and Hitachi have? And how then we can understand that your product is unique?
The uniqueness is about our algorithm and the way of scanning. The Fujitsu and the Hitachi Fujitsu have, they are scanning not finger blood vessel. They are scanning the hand blood vessels map. And we are scanning only finger blood vessels. And the scanners are huge.
What does integratable mean on this dimension?
We don't want to sell ready product. We are producing scanners to integrate in some devices. For example, in car, and you can start your car with your finger, with our scanner. Or you can open your laptop, unlock your laptop or smartphone with our scanner.
Who's going to be your...
Fujitsu and Hitachi, their scanners is not integratable. They are devices.
I'm still confused why the fingerprint scanning is not enough for the security.
I can tell you because I'm
getting scared about my fingers. You seem to have some statistics about cut fingers.
I'm criminalist and I can tell you that fingerprint is not unique. Your fingerprint can be not copied.
I agree.
Can I answer in Armenian?
I agree that printer fingerprint is not absolute. That's true. There are forges, there are ways to forge it. But you have to also understand why these algorithms were developed 20 years ago and we are not there yet. Then there must be two reasons. One, maybe it showed that it cannot compete with fingerprint anyhow. Second, maybe there are already patents there, just they are waiting for someone to come and they would get their money.
The fingerprint is not compatible at all already now. Can I answer in Armenian?
Sure.
Ես կրթությամբ իրավաբան կրիմինալիստ եմ ու այսօր արդեն ապացուցված է, որ մարդու մատնահետքը 50,000-ից 100,000-ը մեկ կրկնվում է։ Հիմա երաշխիք չկա, որ ում մոտ որ ձեր մատնահետքը 98%-ով ճշտությամբ կրկնվում է, ձեր կողքը նստած չի։ Հավանականություն կա, որ ինքը ԱՄՆ-ում է այդ պահին, բայց ոչ մեկ չի երաշխավորում, որ ինքը ձեր կողքը նստած է։ Այսինքն մենակ այդ արդեն որոշակի ոլորտների համար խիստ բացառում է մատնահետքի օգտագործումը։
What's your target customer profile? Like, who are your first customers you are targeting?
Our primary market, the Middle East countries, then US market, and now we have 3 pre-signed contracts, and today one of our Armenian financial companies is testing our product. They are using our devices to unlock their laptops and computers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to continue with early stage. Do we have representatives from De Novo Sciences?
Hello, I'm Vaftan. I'm co-founder of the Nova Sciences, and we are a deep tech company creating novel therapeutics. Let's talk about the problem. Just developing single drug can cost $3 billion and can take 11 years to finish. And it's known fact that the pharma company has to go through at least 10,000 molecules just to get one drug to the market. The problem is the molecules have low quality. So what we are suggesting, what we have created is AI-based platform that can multi-parametrically optimize all these important parameters and bring good molecules to the pharma. The value proposition is very simple. Just based on our preliminary data, we can make this whole process at least 2.5 times more efficient. The proof of concept that we did last year and finished this year, we took the molecule of our partner from Italy and tried to make it better. This is our molecule that was generated by our algorithm, tested and synthesized and tested in laboratory, and here are the results. It has 2.3 times better anti-cancer activity. It was developed 4 times faster, and it also has simpler chemical structures, which is very important for producing it. Our business model, first business model, is just CRO and SaaS. We provide our services without taking any IP for some money to the pharma companies. The second business model, which has much better market, much bigger market, is intellectual property-based business, where we basically patent our molecules, then sell them to the pharma. Current project, right now we are doing this project with these international people that are very famous in their field. We are right now working with them on antiviral, anti-cancer, and RNA drug development. And RNA is completely unique right now. Roadmap. We already raised 105K. We have some publication as our branding in international journals. Right now we are raising 1.7 million and already have 500K soft commitment. And in the next 3-4 years, we are planning to have our first IP, fully operational business, and first deal with biopharma companies. Our team is multidisciplinary. We have engineers, scientists, we have experience working with biotech. Our CEO, Hovakim Zakan, owns laboratory and also has networking with pharma companies, so he can make introductions. Also, our board of advisors, both of our advisors are top people from their respective fields. For example, Ruben Abagian wrote software that is used by almost all of the pharma companies, so he can make introduction, and both of them can help us both scientifically and from business side. Thank you very much.
What type of knowledge are you using of cancer, like medical knowledge, in order to create this AI model? What is that?
The uniqueness of AI model, it's a platform. We don't work against one disease. Our algorithm can generate against any disease, any protein or RNA target that we are interested in. The cancer part was just proof of concept. And we showed the anti-cancer activity in vitro laboratory. And right now we are working on cell experiments.
Right. On this example of cancer, what is that you are using in this AI model? What type of knowledge that others, when they are developing drugs, are not doing that?
Okay. That's a little separate questions. First one from anti-cancer. It's very simple. Like there is protein that's very important, so cells divide and multiply. And if you stop that process, you stop cancer from spreading, right? So our compound was working against that. It was stopping cells from dividing. And from another part, you asked what we are differing from other companies, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a lot of differences. Biggest of them, we are very general algorithm, and the way we wrote the algorithm can give us access to very unique niche markets that others can't access right now. For example, RNA targeting project that you saw, there is no information of any company right now, AI-based company doing that. And our algorithm allows that to do that right now.
What do you actually sell, and what is your financial prediction?
Financial prediction for the next years?
In general, when you will have your break-even point?
In 4 years, 4 or 5 years. So the next 2 years we will continue mostly R&D. Also, we have right now negotiations with some pharma companies in the very early stage. But the numbers that are known from market research are starting from $200K per contract up to millions of dollars. So we are planning to have 2-3 contracts after 3 years so we can have break even.
So in average your contract is $400?
400K.
400K down.
Yeah, starting from somewhere there. It can go up to $190 million and more. It depends on the project, who are doing it, and other stuff.
So am I right that your end user is basically the research company who is researching the drugs?
Everybody who tries to find new drugs can be our customer. Pharma companies, MIT laboratory, let's say, anybody who needs that.
Yeah, so you basically accelerate and improve some of their processes in order to...
Yes, also we are planning to have, well, the question is, are we taking IP or not? So in first business model, we are not taking any IP, just a CRO. It's for short-term income, not to sit on the fundraising money for years and years. But second business model, where we develop the drug ourselves, get to, let's say, preclinical stage, patent it and sell it off. That market was much bigger, as you could see. And this is the second business model that we are going to use. Here, the customer is again pharma, but we are basically just selling the drug to them. And here is also some example for, let's see, yeah, for example, one of our partners is Raymond Shinazi, and for example, he sold this company which basically had a couple of patents with compounds for 11 billion to the pharma company.
But the major problem of drug companies is not just creating drugs, but making clinical trials, to do random sampling, a lot of things. Are you in that business or you are not?
No, it's right now big pharma companies, they are very bad R&D. This basically shows how much big pharma spends on R&D and small startups, right? These numbers show that. So big pharma companies just prefer to buy the drug in preclinical stage and do the clinical phases themselves. Our solution just gives higher probability, more chance for less toxicity, so it doesn't fail in clinical trials.
Perfect.
All right, friends, we have one more presentation before we go to a 15-minute break, only 15 minutes. All right, so before we go to break, let's hear from our last finalist from the first half, MedPoint Technologies.
Hi, I'm Rosa from MedPoint, where we are building the future of pathology. Biopsy is the most common surgical procedure done worldwide. It is also the only way cancer and other types of serious pathologies are diagnosed. But after the biopsy, people need to wait at least 3 days to get the diagnosis, and 7 to 10 more days to get second medical opinion, and even if they pass this, they may be misdiagnosed. This is what happens to 10 to 30% of patients worldwide. Even if you're lucky and you don't get misdiagnosed for some types of cancers like lung cancer, because they are diagnosed very late, survival rate is very low. We are using technologies to build, to enhance the to create a diagnostic enhancement platform to make diagnosis much faster, more accurate, and also early. We bring misdiagnosis down to 5% and below, diagnosis time and second medical opinion time to few hours instead of few days, and potentially we can increase survival rate for lung cancer using the technology we are patenting now. This is our MVP. It's digitizing basically biopsy, slides from biopsy, and then pathologists can use their computers instead of microscope to do their analysis. You can see they have all the tools they can share, get second medical opinion, do collegial analysis, and so on. But still, it's very complicated because millions of cells, and they have to find all different cells and count their numbers. It's like looking at the satellite map of Paris and trying to count all blue cars and red cars and so on. It's almost impossible for human eye. That's why we are asking an opinion for computer vision. It finds all different types of cells, classifies them, and generates a report needed for a precise and fast diagnosis. We are working with patients, pathologists, medical institutions, and pharma companies. Actually, we are helping them to improve their clinical trials by finding target patients very fast using the platform. We have combined the technology, medical science, and business expertise to make this a success. You can see the team members here. We have started, we have the MVP and first customer, also first agreements. And we're guest at Digital Pathology Today podcast, which is the most famous podcast in this field and is watched by the leaders in this field. And we are planning to be FDI certified by 2023. And if we get the prize, we are going to buy histological slide scan and make Armenia. Yeah, thanks.
So what is the business model what you plan to sell to customer? SAS model or something else?
What is the business model?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Business model is subscription-based for pharma companies and for pathology labs, but they can also choose, for example, single pathologists, individual pathologists or patients can use usage-based model, which allows, unlike, for example, some of our competitors, to get people on our platform. Instead of using Facebook or WhatsApp to just cut small part of these images and send to each other, which is impossible to come up with the correct diagnosis with that. They use the platform to actually upload whole slide images and then work there collegially. So it's mostly, I would say, subscription-based for pharma companies and for pathology labs, but also for patients and for individual pathologists, usage-based models.
But was it the innovation in this? If you have a platform to recognize this pattern, this is a need also biopsy, no?
Sorry?
Do you need before biopsy? yes?
Yes, you need biopsy.
Biopsy, and you see the pattern, your platform see the pattern and recognizing the disease.
Yes.
What is the innovation in this?
Yes, sure. So there are different types of pathologies. Each type of pathology is unique and requires and has a diagnostic protocol. So even among lung cancers, there are, for example, different types of lung cancers, and each one requires a different AI module. You cannot have a general AI module that recognizes, that solves all the problems. So basically, even like transplantology, when they do a surgery or gastroscopy, they need a separate module for automating their diagnostic protocol. Well, semi-automating, because in the end, it's the pathologist who is making the decision. So in this field, we have some competitors like PathAI. Yeah, sure, I will go to this slide. Yeah, our main competitors are PathAI, Visiopharm, and Proscia. Proscia is developing only PAX platform, and it's a hell to integrate Proscia's PAX platform with AI modules that others are providing, like PathAI or Visiopharm. That's why only 5% of labs worldwide are digitized. I have seen labs who have purchased these softwares and they are not using it. They have paid 120K, but they are not using it because of how difficult it is to integrate this together and work. And we are end-to-end because we are providing the platform for free. They are paying only for the usage of the storage. And then we are selling the AI modules to them, which doesn't require any integration. Yeah, and one of our advantages is also because we are operating in a place where medical data is still less regulated and more centralized.
But that's the basics of AI is you have to have massive data, the verified diagnosis that you can train your algorithm. How you can get access to such a massive data if you are using AI?
Thank you so much for that question. That's how we are also different from our competitors. In the US, where most of these companies are working, and European Union, you know how tough are regulations on medical data. And it's not centralized. Every pathology lab is doing certain types of pathologies. While in post-Soviet countries, for example, it's not the case. They have tons of data, and it's not yet regulated. If we anonymize them, we sign agreement with major institutions or pathology labs that are working there, like in Belarus, in Uzbekistan, and now, let's say, in Armenia, and then we get the data with the agreement of patients, of course. We are anonymizing it. It's completely anonymous. It's all legal. And of course, yes, we are spending on legalizing this data.
You said that only 10% of the lung cancer cases are misdiagnosed, and then you're saying that you're improving accuracy, and with that you will increase the survival rate from 19 to 85%.
Yeah, I will explain.
I don't think the math works here. Like, how does that work?
No, the problem is all cancer cases are misdiagnosed, 10%, not lung cancer. All cancer cases, misdiagnosis rate is 10 to 30%. 10% in the US, up to 30% in other parts of the world. There are, and average survival rate for, it's not misdiagnosis rate, it's the survival rate for lung cancer is very low. It's 19% because unfortunately it develops without symptoms since our lungs don't have too much nerves. And when diagnosed,
Sorry, my question is, with just increasing accuracy of diagnosis, how you can increase the survival rate from 19 to 85? It's a huge claim, like from 19 to 85?
Yes, you can, because 85% survival rate is early stage survival rate for lung cancer. It's even 90%. So if we can detect using this technology, which is non-invasive, it's in yes, I mean, I say potentially, it's of course the limit.
Thank you very much. All right, friends, join us for a quick 15-minute coffee break, but please be back in 15 minutes. I'm looking at you, Mr. Hovanesyan. All right, the sun is out, the ventilators are also out, so hopefully you guys will stay nice and cool on on that side. All right, so it seems like we're almost ready, almost ready. We're waiting for the people in the back. Rafa Solutions, ready to go? Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and continue with early stage. We have 2 more finalists from the early stage, so we're gonna go ahead and start with Rafa Solutions.
Hello, everyone. Is my voice, can you hear? Okay. Can I start? Yes. I'm Rafael. Today I will be introducing you the Tactune, which is Rafa Solutions spin-off. Everything surrounding us is made of materials. In this video, you can see machines which test mechanical properties of those materials. This is Todd. He is our customer. He builds a rubber testing machine for tire manufacturing company called Michelin. By the way, you have got specimens, the samples of rubbers that they test for rubber for tire in the tire manufacturing. So Michelin have got some special request from Todd. So Todd need to approach to the company, to the developer company, and check the availability, the possibility for this implementation. He discovers that it's going to cost a lot for his company, and it's so he need to talk to Michelin to understand if these features are, like from the cost perspective, it is justified. And later he figured out that even those features are even more than one. Actually, in this field of industry, custom requirements are very common. So it gets not justified to spend that much amount on the customization and feature upgrades. With Tactune technology, which includes no-code software platform and control system, he can now do the customization himself without any programming knowledge. He can do the machine setup and customization. So this allows him to reduce the cost of implementation, as well as to spend 0 time or less than a couple hours on the customization. The same process allow him to do the same customization, can help him to do service also for other companies from the other than tire manufacturing industry. The biggest benefit that Todd likes is the opportunity to start monetizing the end user, like every test that is being conducted, he can monetize for every test that end user does. Basically, whenever this specimen is broken, he gets some money through the cloud system, through the software as a service system. But this was not available before, because in this industry, software as a service is not leveraged at all. At the moment, our market research has revealed that there are actually a lot of companies in the world with the same business model and with the same manufacturing problems. Okay, so this market in the US, we did a couple visits, and we have got now two customers who are actually waiting for this product to be released. They want to purchase it. And there are also one company in France and the other company in the US who have got the prototype controller and who is evaluating this order, this possibility of becoming as a customer. Each such company is $1 million revenue for Tactune. But this is like, however, in the industrial IoT market, the total market size is $550 billion, considering like out of material testing industry. And this is all that Tactoon technology can acquire in the upcoming 10 years, not like 3-4 years, because our first priority is material testing industry. And all this would not be possible without our team and our advisors. Thank you.
Explain please more about a product. What is a core product?
The product is the one that is on your table, that's the controller, and the software environment, which is cloud-based software that allows the manufacturer of the machinery to actually build the whole machine and charge his, like actually to automate this machine and to get his revenue, recurring revenue, from the end users, which are like companies like General Motors, like Continental, like Michelin, like in the medical field, it can be prosthesis, it can be condoms, it can be everything basically, from rubber materials to concrete to construction. So our customers are machine builders, and the product is controller plus the software environment, which does not require any coding. They just install it with our controller, and they can do like 50 types of every type of a machine they can automate. Now they spend around 2 to 3 months, and now these 2-3 months are becoming 1 day. Instead of 2-3 months lead time, they reduce it into 1 day. Actually, with our previous experience with Rafa Solutions, we had a systems, we built similar systems to one customer, for one customer, and we have got 400 controllers deployed all over the world. And those 400 controllers are now being under commissioning, but that's not the Tactoon controller, but the predecessor.
So let us understand what does it mean. So I understand that you attach this controller to the machine.
Yes, not me, but my customer.
Whatever. So you get data from the machine through this device to the cloud or somewhere else?
This device itself controls the machine. This controls all the motors. It does the data acquisition from the sensors.
It controls? It has to collect data, analyze, and then based on some rules, control the machine. So from where it gets that data?
It gets the data from the sensors, like load cell, strain gauges, and then it controls the motors. So it's actually moving this, you were saying that 2 grips, it's moving and extending or compressing the material, and it's testing the properties.
Does this machine do the predictive maintenance?
Predictive maintenance, in this field of industry, this equipment does not require predictive maintenance. They are actually testing the materials, and then they sell the reports to the companies who manufacture the products using those materials. So it's not much about the predictive maintenance. But this thing can actually do predictive maintenance for the machine. That we can do. And that is called, and that we are doing, it's a troubleshooting service that we do.
Okay. What about protocols? Because each machine has its own protocol. You have to collect millions of protocols.
So actually, the connectivity to the cloud, as there is no company in the world that currently leverage cloud services in this industry. There is only one in the construction which does it for a very, very limited functionality. So there are no protocols for the cloud connectivity. From the perspective of motors, we have got, it's a modular platform, so this hardware that you can see, it includes around 10-20 boards, with the help of which we have got very different versions, and each version supports different protocols. So we have EtherCAT, we have TCL, we have, and so on.
I meant a protocol to connect to the device, not to the cloud.
Yeah, it can use, to the moment, that we haven't found any company which have got a motor that we cannot support. I would answer like this. There are no any motors in this industry that this controller cannot support. Servo hydraulic, step motors, any motors.
When you say this industry, what industry you mean?
It's material testing, destructive testing industry.
What material?
It can, material? Any material. Wood, rubber, concrete.
Any material?
Any material. Even liquid materials. Like rheology is one of the industries, like we have got a customer in Australia who is doing online rheology, they are in pharmaceutics, they need to measure the viscosity of the material, which is like liquid material. So in that industry as well, the same controller can work.
But
it's a very universal approach.
What exactly problem it solves?
What is the problem that I'm solving? The
Yes.
lead
What
time,
is the
2 months,
problem
1
it's
day.
solving? Only monitoring of the motors or something else? What is the problem?
It's the core of this machine. They, like, if one customer becomes my customer, they are purchasing, like they manufacture 500 machines per year.
Rafael Can,
Now I'm saying selling 500 controllers
can
to
you,
them.
can you speak 15% slower in answering this question? What problem does it solve?
If he gives me time, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much. I will speak
Thank you,
now
sir.
slower.
Slower but clear, like what problem it solves. One sentence.
Okay. The problem that machine manufacturers have is that they cannot scale. That's first problem, because their cost is high, and secondly, they are not being able to enter to other markets other than whatever they do. They are vertically doing only concrete testing. With this controller, now he can do with the same cost, with the same expense, he can now enter to the market of rubber testing. He can now enter to the market of automotive. Or let's say he's from construction, he can enter automotive. That's one problem.
But do they want to go to other markets?
Yes, because, okay, a couple words about the market. There are 4 dominant players in this market who dominate 70% of the whole market is within these 4 companies. The remaining market is around 300 companies. So currently, I have already visited 20 companies in the US. In total, there are 50 companies in the United States. So those 20 companies, at least whoever I have talked to, they are very much amazed with this technology and they want to use it because of the cost and the scaling. We can talk later on if you are interested to learn more. And I'm sorry for taking more time from Choose.
No, you may not get additional time. Stop lobbying. All right, with our last early stage finalist, let's welcome our block.
Hello, my name is David Beckett, and I'm the CBDO and co-founder of RBlocks. Blockchain symbolizes a shift in power from the centers to the edges of the network. We've all heard the trend. Millions of dollars are being spent by companies on R&D and blockchain integration in their businesses, from Amazon to PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, and even Uber. But there's a challenge. Blockchain, as well as all network-dependent technologies, are built on a nearly 50-year-old network architecture, which means they're slow and cumbersome, they lack scalability, but most importantly, they're energy inefficient. The solution, RBlocks. We are a breakthrough software plugin that makes a secure, fast, and energy-efficient blockchain, and we can optimize any blockchain. Our unique value proposition is that we're working on that problematic network layer and not touching the rest of the blockchain, which means we can optimize the blockchain and get anywhere from 44% energy efficiency to 40% faster transactions. Our market size, it's super exciting because it's growing at a 40% compound annual growth, which means there's lots of room for scaling and growing. The target markets, a lot of companies are adopting blockchain, but the early adopters, the leaders, are in the financial services sectors. This is who we're going after. Now, our business model is a hybrid business model because we'll be working with private and public blockchains. So on private blockchains, we'll be working in the standard SaaS/BaaS model, providing a software solution at a fixed fee with an annual licensing. But with the public blockchains, we get the sexy model of working with the tokenized economy and stake tokens. Our competitors, as I mentioned, are really working on all those other layers of the blockchain, while we're the only ones focusing and honing in on the real problem, which is the network layer. We've had lots of exciting things come out in the last couple of years, R&D, several prototypes, as well as an MVP. Along the path, we've also, over the last several months, raised an additional $265,000 for business development, partnerships, as well as our first sales. And we've got a great group of partners that are leading the way in legal, financing, and also consulting. But nothing happens without a great team. We've got a team with over 50 years of experience. They're all full-time, working in business development, marketing, software development, blockchain, and network engineering. But what's more exciting than anything is we get to announce today that we have integrated our first RBlocks platform into a public blockchain, getting results of 30% faster transactions. So send us to EWC because by then we'll have already integrated into 4 of the top blockchains. Thank you. Yeah, a judge. I think we missed the.
Let's move to Q&A. As soon as he comes in, we'll take for 6 minutes. Can we go ahead with questions?
Yes,
So you claim that TCP/IP networks are slow, and then your solution is.
We need to take a decision. He wasn't the pitch. We have 2 options. You decide, please. He can repeat the 3 minutes, so you can see, and then we can continue Q&A. Or maybe you cannot take decisions on the early stage. I can skip this one. But then you cannot vote on the early stage, because obviously there is no missing. You cannot take decisions there. What do you prefer?
We do it again. Sorry.
Yeah, let's repeat.
Do it again.
We do it again? Okay.
Sorry. We'll understand better.
You get the second round.
But maybe you can we have to repeat.
You change your pitch, not to repeat the same. Slightly
Yeah,
change
just
it.
slightly mix it up a bit.
Can you
Yeah.
take the one of the food and do this?
Okay, so how lucky are all of you? You get to hear David present one more time. Sorry, you guys, one of our judges was not here, so we need to do this again to make it fair for everyone. So, thank you, Arto, sitting right here. Anyways, 3 minutes.
Yeah, this is what I was dreaming of, actually, pitching twice. Okay, well, let's do it. Hello, my name is Dave Beckett, and I am the CBDO and co-founder of RBlocks. Blockchain symbolizes a shift in power from the center to the edges of the networks. We've all heard the trend. Companies are spending millions of dollars in R&D and blockchain integration. Companies like Amazon, PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, and even Uber. But the challenge is that blockchain and all network-dependent technologies are built on a nearly 50-year-old network architecture, which means that blockchain is slow and cumbersome, high latency, and it's most importantly, energy inefficient. The solution, RBlocks. It's a disruptive software plug-in solution that makes a secure, fast, and energy efficient blockchain. And we can work with any blockchain. So our unique value proposition is that we're working on the network layer, really tackling and honing in on that problem. And what we've found is we can get upwards of 44% energy efficiency and 40% faster transactions. The market size is really attractive and it's really sexy because it's growing at a 40% compound annual growth, which means there's lots of room for growth. Our target market and target sector is the financial services sector because they're the real early adopters of blockchain and really catching on quicker than everybody else. Our business model, it's a hybrid model because when we work with private blockchains, we can use a SaaS model with a fixed fee and licensing fee attached. But for the public blockchains, we get to partake in that cool tokenized model and stake tokens. Now, our competition in the optimization field is really working on all the layers of the blockchain, whereas we're honing in on the most problematic layer, which is the network layer. So our achievements to date, we've had plenty of R&D. We've created 3 prototypes. We've finished our first MVP. We've raised additional R&D money. And over the last several months, we actually raised an additional $265,000 for business development, partnership development, and attraction of our first sales. Now, we've got a group of partners that are helping us in legal, investment, consulting, but also acceleration with Machiavel, one of the top accelerators and incubators in Europe. Our team is the most exciting part of this. Yes, we have a breakthrough technology, but with over 50 years of experience in software development, business development, network engineering, blockchain development, we have the complete package. Now, what I'm excited to announce today is that a couple days ago, we fully integrated our first public blockchain, which is an Armenian blockchain, and our initial tests have it running 30% faster on our blocks. Send us to the EWC Global so that we can showcase our achievements with these other 4 top blockchains. Thank you.
Okay, let me then come up with my question. Okay, you claim that the legacy TCP/IP network is slow, and you are offering something that would be much faster.
Yes.
But anything you do, all your blockchain still has to run on TCP/IP network.
Absolutely.
You are competing.
So I'm
I
so
don't know,
glad you
when
said
you are
this.
saying faster than who?
Yes. So I'm so glad you said this. You're right. We still have to work with TCP/IP, but our software allows us to do something called tunnel over TCP/IP. We take all the advantages of our blocks, which is a recursive internetwork architecture, and we leave behind all the bad things that TCP/IP has. I'll put it simply for anybody who's not in the technical format. It's like if you have a really busy highway with lots and lots of cars, the architecture is there, but you still have lots of traffic jams. If you were to build a tunnel over it, and you would be able to drive faster, more secure, and more energy efficient over that because you'd still get the benefits of the architecture, but you're bypassing all the protocol layers because we only have 2 protocol layers that we're working with.
But you are not handling all these protocols for TCP/IP. It's out of you. This traffic you cannot handle. You cannot build the tunnel yourself because you have only 1 car. That's what you have, and you have to get into that traffic anyhow.
Correct. And we get this all the time. We know that. And what we've done is we built an application-to-application layer, meaning you have to run it over our application, utilizing RENA as a socket plugin, or RBlocks as a socket plugin that actually bypasses over TCP/IP. And with these protocols, actually bypasses the protocol. We don't need those. We don't use the TCP/IP protocols, only the pathway. And it's been tested. We've done many tests on this.
I have another question. If you go back to your competition.
Sure.
You put here check boxes, and then
Yes.
one is the last one that your differentiation, right? Networking layer. But you don't say in the 4th one how good you are against. Maybe they are so good in all other 4 aspects that you even don't go into the last one. Checkbox does not mean that much.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the answer to that is that even if we were to optimize at the same level as all of these guys, for instance, Polkadot would still be better optimized with us. So they could optimize the other layers and they could use us. So that's an actually great point because we become a potential for them to be a customer of ours as well. So the traditional optimizers that are working on enhancing the blockchain, working on the application layers, we actually can become their customers as well because we have the know-how to work on the network layer that they don't.
David, how it will be monetized?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And it's something we're actually still working on because blockchain's a new market. And what we found is that the private blockchain sector is going to be the SaaS BOSS model, which is we monetize by actually selling a software and then annually licensing it. Where the tricky side comes, but it's sexy as well, is the tokened economy. Because on public blockchains, when we optimize it, so say it's a forked blockchain, we optimize it. What we will take is a staked amount of tokens or several nodes that we will then be owners of and take part in the benefits of our product. So it also incentivizes the companies to use us because they can go out and say, we've optimized, we're 30% faster, and the game theory starts. Download nodes, become a part of our blockchain, use our blockchain. And that's really where the long-term attractiveness comes from.
But maybe it need more data or something like that because it's blockchain?
Yeah, absolutely. We do need more data, which is why we raised the initial $265,000 to do proof of concept, product market fit. But we're also working with Machiavel, who is one of the leading blockchain accelerators and consultants in Europe. and they're actually an equity partner with us, and they work on our business development, our business plan, and our financial modeling to really understand how we can scale that. And as we know, we're early stage, so we're still in that development process. But yes, it's true. Thank you.
So you haven't deployed the system yet, right? Anywhere? You haven't deployed?
Deployed a system.
Yeah.
Not outside of our office, no. What we've done is we've taken open source blockchains, brought them in, and then optimized them.
How can you validate that, your claim that you are 30% efficient?
That's a great question. So what we do is we run parallel sessions. So the computers are always running, and they're running parallel sessions, running against TCP/IP and running with our blocks over TCP/IP or tunneling TCP/IP, and that's where we get our benchmarks from. So we're constantly sending those numbers over. We did it without a blockchain first to test the results and got the similar results, and then we started doing it with blockchains. Thank you guys, and thank you for letting me talk twice.
It's all the lobbying you did for extra time. I know. All right, friends, let's go ahead and move towards the growth stage with our first finalist, Smart Click.
Thank you. Yeah? Excuse me? Thank you. Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Ardalan from SmartClick. I'm data science technical lead. SmartClick is a well-known international company that does artificial intelligence solutions. We are specializing in computer vision and business intelligence. Recently, we are partnering with manufacturing industries. And with partnering with them, we realized that one of their most important steps in the production is the quality control. Because quality control, it relates to their brand images. I don't know about you, if I buy a product and it has a defect, I'm not buying from the same brand again. So they spend a lot of resources on their quality controls. This reduces their speed of production, increase their cost of production, and also they are not scalable because they're using human resources for the control, for the quality control. We have an AI solution that we have a breakthrough in AI and AI stacks that we are able to detect any object and any defect, recognize any defect with 3 to 5 samples of the images. Our solution is highly scalable because we only need to install a camera on the production line and we connect that camera to the internet. Our solution is 20 times more accurate than a human quality control. We can reduce the cost up to 5 times depending how our AI is integrated to their system. And also we detect the issues immediately. Global quality control market is a huge market. It's around $36 billion estimated on 2020. And it's going to grow to $62 billion by 2027. We have a very simple and yet effective business model in order to enter this market. We are going to approach manufacturing companies. We're going to have an initial setup cost, which is a camera connected to the internet or on-premise, depending on the request of the manufacturing industries. And after 2 to 4 weeks, we're going to integrate the whole AI system in their quality control. And after that, we sell our AI as a service on a monthly subscription based. Also, we have many other AI features that they can tap into. We are able to achieve this great technology with our amazing team. We have over 55 years of experience in industrial deployment, software engineering, and computer vision. We have already achieved a lot of milestones to this day. We had 2 years of research and development that our AI breakthrough comes from that. And at the end of the 2020, we applied to the JICA competition. Out of 250 companies, SmartClick and 5 other companies were the only companies that accepted to the Japanese market. We got access to the Japanese industrial market. And since then, we have been working on 2 proof of concepts with 2 large companies in Japan, one of them being oil industry, the other one being pipe production. We are expected to reach to the contracting stage at the end of this year. And we are expecting to grow to different industries and different countries. Thank you. Thank you.
which kind of industrial production can use this your product?
Quality
I mean, a continuous production or each piece-to-piece production?
Yes, that's a very good question. So our main target is usually the production lines, which is the conveyor belt that the products are going. We install the camera over there, and depending on how diverse their products are and how many defects they want to detect, it takes 2 to 4 weeks to optimize that AI for that industry. So it doesn't matter to the industry as long as it is visually visible through the camera.
But who collecting the data? By your company, or is the data stay in on side your customer?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because some companies, they don't want their data to come out of the company. So we offer two solutions. One of them is on-premise, that we go and optimize on their servers, and the other is a cloud-based. On the cloud-based, we offer way more features depending on the company. If they are like very security on the data, we are not going to go on the cloud. So.
And you before using, you need some time or some data to educate system on this?
No, that is actually our breakthrough. So we only need 3 to 5 images of one defect or a problem in order to recognize it better than human quality controls. This is a technology that we have adapted specifically for quality assurance.
So as I understand, it's a kind of another approach for total quality management, right?
To quality control management. Yes, like we are going to detect very fast and accurate.
So why your approach is better than general quality control management system, like let's say Six Sigma or other methodologies that exist in the production?
Yes, so we don't have any limitation on what type of product it is. So you may have, for example, like one of our partners that we are working with, they are producing pipes. And they're produced different types depending on the customers. And our AI technology is able to adapt a new product very fast. So if a new production line comes, our AI is going to detect the differences and the defects of the product. So there are customized quality controls, you're right, that are doing better job, but our solution is on a larger scale and quickly can adapt to any situation.
But it's not a benefit for the, let's say, for the company, because let's say I'm producing this pen,
yes.
Okay? It's a manufacturing line that produces this pen. So different parts, then it combines all the details. So in this product line, I will not manufacture, let's say, bottle.
Yes.
So your methodology, what is the benefit of your methodology for using for this pen production, not for other products?
Yes, so for example, you have a pen production line, right? So when we install the camera, we come to the production line, we install the camera, we are able to detect if any new pens, for example, is lighter blue, or the parts didn't assemble together, or there is a discoloration or any deform in the pen, we are able to detect it automatically. So right now, humans are detecting that, okay, so this pen is going to be deformed or like in a circular shape or any different colors. We're going to detect that automatically using AI.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So then your model, AI, is
Yes.
on pattern recognition, as I understand, right?
Yes.
So you teach the model on the correct item.
Yes.
And when there's a defective item, which is different visually, then
Yes.
it recognizes. Is it that what you are
Yes,
doing?
yes, that's a good approximation. So what we are doing, we are like 2 different modules. One of them is the anomaly detection, that we recognize what's the normal product and what is the not normal product. And also we have a different type of stack of technology that specifically detects what's wrong with the product. So in our proof of concept, in this example, this is an oil company and they use the technology for their pipe maintenance. We can recognize where the problem exists and what type of problem it is, and also what's the risk level of that problem for the company. So if we are able to integrate to their systems.
But this is easy. It's just one-time thing. I think even visually can be recognized.
This
but
is-
I
yeah.
understood that it's like on a conveyor, there are a number of products that are
Yes.
going, and you visually looking at defects. That's different. But this, your case, is not that difficult to do manually.
So the good thing about this example is, so I'll answer like there are two questions. Here is that it is very expensive to ask human quality control to go and check kilometers of the pipes. By our technology, currently that the Japanese company that is, we passed the proof of concept and we are using that technology, is that they are giving a camera to a normal person that can go along the pipes, or multiple people at the same time without using their expertise. And the question about the conveyor belt is that we are using the anomaly detection for that. So we are recognizing the objects and we compare the difference between the objects.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you are growth stage company, so you didn't talk about your growth.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit how you are scaling, like your growth, how many customers you already have,
Yes.
And how you are growing in terms of month over month, year over year, or something
Yes.
about your numbers?
Can I have my slide? Okay. So we already passed 2 proof of concepts with 2 companies in Japan. So our goal is to get, when we get like 3 to 4 customers, we are going to break even and be a little more profitable. Our goal is to master industry by industry, because it will be a lot easier for the AI. For example, we stay in the pipe production industry, and also each company would have multiple production lines. So what our business plan is to master, for example, a production line of the pipes, then go to another production line, for example, phone, laptop, depending on where we can grow. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. As the sun is setting on beautiful Yerevan, let's go ahead and start with our 4th presentation. Still continuing in the growth stage, let's welcome Helton. Perfect. Helton? You don't need a mic? Oh, okay.
Udo. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. Great.
You ready?
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Ashot, founder of Helton. Our company develops smart home hardware and software, and we are focusing on making smart home accessible for businesses. As you know, the smart home market is huge. Businesses are just entering to the market, and their market size will be $90 billion by 2027. There are dozens of technologies and hundreds of brands of smart home. Being designed as a consumer product, each of them requires a separate integration into B2B systems. The lack of integration is a huge problem for businesses. We are forced to hire big teams and spend years on the development. This problem is the main reason why companies like hotels and property management companies, smart home integrators, telecom operators cannot use the full potential of smart home. Helton is making smart home devices which are specially designed to be seamlessly integrated into B2B systems. But you know, it's impossible to develop all types of smart devices for businesses' needs. That is why we came up with a solution enabling businesses to use any smart home device. We are developing a cloud platform allowing B2B systems to speak the same language with any smart home device, regardless of brand and technology used, by providing them a unified API. Of course, there are other companies trying to solve the problem, but our platform is totally game-changing. First, it is 10 times more cost-efficient. Second, the setup process of devices is 10 times faster. And third, our business customers don't need a dedicated team to do the integration of devices into their systems. All these technologies are our intellectual property. We have 3 US patent pendings, 5 in the filing process, and a few more being investigated. We received our first $1 million pre-seed investment in 2019 and entered the market just 8 months ago with best-in-class smart home product for businesses. Today we have already 72 distributors and resellers in 25 countries. Our signed contract exceeding $500,000, and we are cash positive company. With our devices, we are also already partnering with the industry big name brands. We have a pilot project of 25K with Caesar Palace hotel chain in Las Vegas, and this project may reach $3.5 million revenue. One of the European telecom operator also chose our full product range, and we have an opportunity of $5 million revenue here. The biggest smart home integrator recently confirmed the first $1 million order. That was it. Biggest smart home integrator confirmed the first $1 million order, and we have an opportunity of $10 to $20 million revenue here for the next 3 years. Thank you. I would like to show you a few of our devices, so just you feel how amazing they are. By the way, it's fully produced in Armenia, made in Armenia products. And I would like to invite Andranik and Gayane from my team to help me to ask you questions.
My question about the cloud platform, you need to start this or you making it just now?
We have a technological concept proof. We have some hardware component already in the development process, but the product is not ready yet, so it's on development stage.
But your product now is integrated with some other cloud platforms or not?
Yes, our products, hardware products are integrated to many platforms, and usually our customers, they integrate our product to their own systems. Let's say if we are talking about hotels, they need to integrate these products to their building management system. And this is a huge problem because they spend a lot of time on the integration. And our business customers need to have a control of these all type of smart devices from their own software. That's why they cannot use the software which comes, let's say, from with Nest, with Philips Hue bulbs, etc.
Can you explain better this architecture? I'm still confused. How does that work?
Yeah, this is the hardware products which we have now on the market. Philips Hue bulb, Nest, Ring. This is the technologies they use, Z-Wave, Zigbee, Bluetooth, a lot of different technologies. And this is the small hardware component which converts any protocol, any technology to Wi-Fi, which allows them to be connected to our cloud platform. And then this cloud platform provides an API which will be integrated to B2B systems of our partners.
So customers, on top of buying all this stuff, they have to buy your stuff in order to integrate. So it's another additional layer of buying decision. Is that right?
Actually,
if I am buying like something from these guys, why I need to buy another system just to be able to integrate different stuff? Because I buy just one brand and I do it in my house. Then why I need different ones?
Very good question, Manujan. Thank you. The biggest reason, the main reason is that they spend years on the integration of this one device to their system. Because this device comes with their own application. It's not designed to be integrated with B2B systems. And we are creating a platform helping them to do the integration much faster and much easier, in an easier way.
Give me an example of a B2B application.
Let's say if we are talking about hotels, it will be a building management system. The system which hotels use to control their rooms. There's a check-in, check-out, a lot of different things, etc. And now these products cannot be integrated to their systems. Let's say when you do a checkout, the hotels need that your room thermostat automatically switch off. For now, usually some worker go to and switch off your thermostat. And that's why they're losing a lot of money on the energy cost efficient. That is why when we are going to smart systems, to better devices, but it's a problem for them to integrate these devices to their systems. So it's a consumer product, not business product.
So it means that, please correct me if I am wrong, your application does only switching on off the devices, or it can also control, I mean, the increase the temperature or decrease, or so.
Actually, what is doing our application, it's not an application, it's a platform first.
Okay.
We don't provide an application because our customers, they have their own application.
Okay.
Our platform converts and allows to control these devices from different brands. Let's say if you have Nest thermostat, Ring doorbell, you need to control them. And it converts to Wi-Fi and provide an API which is easily integrated to B2B systems.
Sorry, just follow-up question on my question. So then if you do that, provide that platform that connects the systems, why do you produce your own stuff?
Good question. Actually, we started from developing hardware products. When our customers started to request more and more different type of products, and we just understand that we are not able to develop all these type of products. So for now, we have 5 products. They ask for 4 or 5 more products, and we just decided to make them available, enable to use any devices which are on the market.
So please tell about existing platforms and how you gonna compete with them.
Let's go to a competitor slide. Yeah, this is our competitors.
I mean, platform level competitors.
It's a software. It's not actually a platform. This is the main reason. This is the main differentiation. We provide a small hardware component, the bridge, which you see on the slide, which solve the problems which cannot be solved only on the software side. Let's say if we are talking about connectivity issues, it cannot be solved by software. That's why you need to have some hardware which will have different connection types and to be able to deliver the information from devices to the cloud. This is the main differentiation. And then our differentiation is that we are a hardware producer and our competitors are software producer. And you cannot develop a good software to control hardware if you don't know anything about hardware. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. All right. My mic is perfect now. Great. All right, thank you very much. Let's move on. We have 2 more presentations left. So, Revelcon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gevorg Baghdasaryan. I am the CEO of Revalcon, and that's our great pleasure and honor to present you our company. So Revalcon is a 3-year-old Armenian technology company in agriculture, and the key mission that we are trying to solve is to bring intelligence systems for farmers and do that by solving complicated challenges. Our team consists of enthusiasts. All co-founders of our company have strong international backgrounds, and now we are 15 in our team. The key problem that our company is trying to solve is the low-tech enabled and non-productive agriculture. So we are trying to empower farmers to grow higher and better yield with less resources. How we do that? We have developed our end-to-end and integrated solution. Why end-to-end? Because it consists of hardware and software. Why integrated? Because it can be integrated with any mechanical irrigation system. So how it works, here on the left you can see our nodes which are placed on the ground. They manage all the processes, then the information circulates to the server, then to the cloud, and our clients, they have a real-time control on all the processes going on the ground. The key values that our company is bringing for its customers are the following. So first of them is the high efficiency. We save water, we save time, we optimize electricity usage, and we reduce crop diseases. We empower also our customers with intelligence and with information, with knowledge. Also, we bring environmental impact. We are challenging the world leaders, and we are doing better than they do. So here you can see a competitive analysis with the world leaders such as Netafim, Tevatronic, Strega, and Waterbeat. Our business model consists of this simple formula of product plus subscription. So we sell our products, we install them, and then we provide annex services. Already we have realized 4 projects, 3 of them in Armenia and 1 of them in Russia, in Prokhodny. I would like to highlight especially this project because it was realized during the pandemic last year and without physical presence of our team on the ground in Russia. So with our manuals, our customers, they installed the system. So this year we are going to finish our works on hardware and industrial design. For next 2 years, we are going to work on artificial intelligence and machine learning, and by 2024, we are going to pass to assembly line production. Here you can see one of the case studies. The project is realized in Garni. This is a 75 acres of almond garden, almost 60,000 trees. The project was realized in a situation of very challenging landscape and insufficiency of water resources. Thank you very much.
So can you describe what is input and what is output?
Sorry?
What is input and what is output? Like you put sensors, what type of data you collect, and what type of insights or advice or whatever you provide.
Sure. So I would like to explain you on this specific case study. So here you can see our pumping station controller. Then the nodes are put it in every zone. Actually on my t-shirt also you can see that. So our customers, they can open and schedule all the processes going on there. So first they will irrigate the dark green, then the light green, rose, and etc. We also provide with an intelligence system. I would like to explain you how. So here we have this example. So this is the almond garden in Garni. The other one is the project in Prokhodny in Russia. So we collect all this data and we provide analysis. Both of the gardens are almond gardens. So I know how they were irrigating in Russia, how they are irrigating in Armenia, what are the differences, and etc. We provide with information about the soil humidity, so we are explaining any under and overwatering, which is so important for escaping from crop diseases and etc.
So do I understand correctly, you are focused on irrigation problem?
Yeah.
Only?
Yeah.
Exclusively?
Yeah, we are doing irrigation automation.
So your insight is this part of the soil is under-irrigated, that part is over-irrigated. Is that correct?
Yeah, we can give this information to our client according to the weather data coming to us, the soil humidity, and etc. So we are collecting data now also because we think that data-driven decisions are really important in agriculture.
Can you go back to your competition? Okay, tell me, you said end-to-end solutions, and it seems to me that others lacking that. What is that, and why nobody has end-to-end, and what is that you have as an end-to-end solutions?
So, for example, Belgium company Strega is producing only hardware part, which can work with some softwares and with others not. So they are a company which is producing hardware. The example of Netafim is also interesting. So because Netafim is actually, they are the inventors of drip irrigation itself. But for example, their solutions can be integrated only with Netafim hardware and etc. But our solution can be integrated with any irrigation system, so theirs can be integrated only with Netafim irrigation system, drip irrigation and etc. So the end-to-end consists of hardware and software. So we have developed our pumping station controller, server, nodes, and repeaters. All these were produced by our company. And then in software part, we have developed our application, both in Telegram, which is sending you notifications about the processes going on the ground. Then we have developed our web application dashboard, and so This is the end-to-end that we
And
offer.
why they are not affordable?
Because we have compared the prices. Actually, they are not affordable as our solution, and they are consuming too much electricity. So why? Because here you can see the nodes. When we were starting developing our product, we were observing the products of our competitors. Then we have found out that their nodes are too complicated. So we have produced simple nodes, but a complicated server. So they are not consuming as much electricity as the ones of our competitors. They are working with solar panels, and they are working for a long period of time. For example, in case of Garni, they didn't change anything in nodes during 3 years.
What is the business model? I mean, you will supply the hardware and software.
Yes, so we provide hardware. We are doing the blueprint. Here is the full package of services. We are doing the blueprint. We are installing local server. We are providing application, remote controller, and etc. Then we are providing annex services to our customers. We have 2 packages, basic one and professional one.
What's your sales strategy? It's extremely hard to sell something to farmers. How do you overcome this?
Yes, actually we have realized a huge market research in our targeted markets in Armenia and in Russia. We have finished our market research just recently. You are right, there are lots of problems, but there is something positive. When farmers, they see huge farms with irrigation systems, they are becoming more pro-irrigation farmers. So we observe that these changes happen even in the Armenian market. In Russian market, the change is already there. So everyone understands that the future is for drip irrigation and automated irrigation. And I would like to add only one thing. So COVID has showed us clearly that lots of sectors can be stopped, just closed and etc. But agriculture should always move on because the demand for food, for agri-food and agriculture products is going high and high. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right, and our final presentation before we deliberate is Zoomerang.
Zoomerang is about creativity and visual expression. We are bringing a platform that offers hundreds of tools, limitless content, and inspiration from the creators around the world. Hi, I am David, co-founder of Zoomerang. I'll present you why 25 million users downloaded Zoomerang and why there are 400,000 5-star reviews in app stores. Short-form video platforms are very important, since people can tell their stories to their community through these social media platforms. That is exactly why 2 billion people are online every month, uploading 30 billion short-form video content to these platforms. But they all have the same 3 problems. The first is that video editing tools are very hard to use. The second is that time required to create even 15-second shot can take 3 to 4 hours to make. And the last one is finding the video idea to make is also very challenging. To solve these problems comes Zoomerang, a platform for interactive video tutorials that does the editing for the users. So with these platforms, they can focus on telling their stories rather than spending hours on creation process. So how it works? With the help of our recommendation system, you just find a tutorial set up for creating, follow the hints, and the result is ready in minutes, since the editing takes place real time. It's free to download, but it contains $30 yearly subscription, and we also monetize by serving ads as well. We stand out in a market that we are focused on making easy-to-use tools for creating short-form videos. That's why, started in 2018, we already have 25 million downloads and 100,000 tutorial creators registered in the platform. Our next goal is 100 million downloads by the next year. These amazing creators already made 3 million tutorials in the platform and help us to help our community to create 2 billion video content in Zoomerang. Of course, this all wouldn't be a reality without our amazing 14-member team of professionals, and with the founders also played very crucial role from the beginning. We have 11 years of experience working together in this industry. We believe that creativity will become a fundamental economic driver and will continue to work breaking down the barriers to creativity. Thank you.
I have a question. 2 questions, in fact. One is that what is your core value? Is it tutorials, hints that you create to make it easy, or special way of doing editing? And second question, how you monetize it? I saw subscription. Would that be enough for you to get enough funding, or you will do also advertisements and other things?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So its unique value is, we have a couple of unique values here. The first is that it cuts the time for editing required to make the same video from hours to minutes. Like creators spend hours of making these ideas, and they want to share these ideas with their community so they can recreate these same ideas. So with this, their community can use these tutorials to create the same idea in minutes. So this is the first. The second value we create.
So sorry. So tutorials are your value.
Yeah. Tutorials.
The most important value is tutorials.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And about the subscription model, yeah, it's free to download, but we have tutorials that is not free to use, and people need to convert to Pro, which is $30 yearly subscription, and it's a feed where you scroll and find a tutorial you want to remake, let's say, or create. There we show ads in the middle of this scrolling, as all feeds, and for example, Facebook or Instagram does. And also we have places where we like show ads to unlock some features or something like that.
How many of subscribed users you have now?
That information is like not public. I can surely tell you after this competition. Sorry.
I have one question to you.
I'll tell you after the competition.
Why you participate in this competition?
Great question, and we also think about that. Because we spent our last 3 years working hard on building this product and like going to markets and getting new users and building these amazing products. And we never had a chance to talk to international community and show what we have made in Armenia. And this is one of the reasons we want to go to this final to show international community and put Armenia on the map.
But are your tutorials somehow patented, or someone can create a new company, write a tutorial similar to yours, and get over your business, and you will be out of your business then?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's not about the technology only. It's about the community that we have in our platform, and we're constantly working with this community, teaching them what to make, how to make. And we like making this community that is very hard to copy.
Yeah, I think you didn't mention from the beginning that all your tutorials are basically user-generated.
Yeah.
So that makes confusion. So my question is, what is your flywheel? How you got people to create tutorials? How you incentivize them? How you incentivize your community basically to do that? And how you are going to scale it? Like you have a lot of users basically creating a content which is amazing, but how you are going to scale it to have like more users create and give them incentive to like create more and more content for other folks to use?
Yeah, great question. So basically now why they are making these tutorials to be like show to their community what they can make. But eventually it will become something more serious when they create more tutorials and become more professional. At that point, we're going to give them a way to monetize what they make. For example, sharing some revenue from these tutorials that we get with them. So one way to give them this opportunity to make or to force them make tutorials is giving them opportunity to work on Zoomerang. And the second is that we're providing this platform where when they say that where you are building a community that everyone around is talking about, and the creators going to these communities, you also want to join them and try things there, be famous, and etc.
But are you using someone else editor? Just giving a tutorial. What is the software? Are you using like?
Yeah, all software is written natively. We have not only these tutorials, we already have video recorders with amazing filters. We already also have editor, which is almost like a professional video editor. They can do everything they want with the video with this editor.
Yours? You
Yeah.
have created, or you are
No,
third party editors?
In the same platform, we have this tutorial feed and the creator part, where users creating these tutorials. It's in the same platform, in the app.
Is company now cost positive?
It's revenue.
Cost positive or
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
Financial sustainability.
No, it's like cost positive or.
It's okay. Growing company.
A growing company. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, friends, that concludes our 12 presentations. Join me in thanking our entrepreneurs one more time for their wonderful presentations. Perfect. Now, jury, you guys get to go deliberate. As the jury deliberates, I invite you all to join us for a 30-minute coffee break. And once we return back, we'll announce the winners and conclude this evening, now that the sun has already set too. So please join Arpine. She will walk you guys to the conference room downstairs. And friends, join us in the back for a 30-minute coffee break. Thank you. But even more importantly than our wonderful jury are the checks that need to arrive too. Halache, not yet, not yet. We clapped already, Artojan, we clap. Let's clap one more time. Arto is here, most importantly. Are the checks coming? Yes. The checks are here already. Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get started with our prize ceremony. Before we get started with the prize ceremony, just a quick announcement. Let me introduce the in-kind prizes and sponsors. I'm sure many of you are wondering, what are those scooters doing here? So, I will tell you now. So, Telecom Armenia is giving out 3 e-scooters for the national winners. 4 scooters for the national winners. I was trying to keep 2 for myself. That's what was happening. Telecom Armenia is giving a 2-year business hosting for all 4 winners. Manatee Mentor is giving two packages of 50,000 mana points to receive mentoring, which equals to 10 sessions on the Manatee Mentor global platform for 2 stage winners, plus digital mentoring planner for 2021. Manatee Mentor, 8 packages for 25,000 mana points for receiving mentoring, 5 equals 5 sessions on a Manatee Mentor global platform for the remaining 8 finalists, plus the digital mentoring planner for 2021. BAJ Accelerator is giving out 2 tickets to the BAJ Accelerator for September 2021 program. 3 tickets, excuse me, 3 tickets for all growth finalists. Join me in thanking our sponsors. All right, we are ready to go with the prize ceremony. First, I would like to invite Mariam Babayan from GIZ to announce the winner of the Idea stage. Mariam Jan.
Rebel! Did they leave? It's you! Congratulations.
Congratulations. I think you know what you do because you have already experience with GIZ. I think you will have a tough year having 2 grants from GIZ and managing these 2 grants. It's a kind of more than being a winner. So I think we need to discuss. Anyhow, congratulations. And this means that first time we were right choice. So you are the best.
Congratulations. Take it with you. Frame it, put it in your new office. Perfect. Now I would like to invite representatives from the Hovnanian International to announce the winner of the early stage. Representatives from the Hovnanian. Perfect. Actually, the mic stays with me. Music. All right, ready? Congratulations, MedPoint Technologies. Congratulations. Good? We're good? Congratulations. Thank you. Now let's welcome Vartan Urutian, Rector of the Armenian National Agrarian University, and Arsen Harutyunyan, CEO of Startup Armenia Foundation, on stage. Stechchen. Is Vartan is here? No? Okay. Give us a minute. Okay, perfect. Let's do it. Epic team, let's announce the Growth Stage Prize winner. Congratulations, Zoomerang. Very good. Congratulations, Zoomerang. Now it's my pleasure to welcome on stage Dr. Karin Marquez, President of AUA, and Dr. David Sahakian, Deputy Minister of High-Tech Industry, to announce the national runner-up. So the national runner-up winner is one of the winners who's won already in one of the early stages, because we have 2 slots now. So Dr. Marquez, Mr. Deputy Minister. Zoomerang, you're going to the nationals! Very good. Congratulations, Zoomerang, and have fun on the global stage. Now, it's my pleasure to invite Inga Vartanian, a representative from Subconstruct, to introduce Subconstruct and announce the national winner.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you, and today was very interesting and expressive day. So I have the honor to be invited here and representing Subconstruct company. And our company is always stays next to the such kind of technology and innovative events. So we have the honor to announce the winner for national winner. So can we?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Where's the check? Okay. Perfect. Yes, Tutuna. This is for the national winner.
Deneva Sciences, congratulations, Uren. Perfect. Wonderful. Congratulations. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude today's competition. On behalf of our team, I would like to thank all of you, our sponsors, our keynote speakers, our jury, our panelists, for helping us make today a successful event. We wish our national winners and national runner-ups a huge success as they go on to represent our country on the international stage. You guys better bring back a win. Thank you all for joining us today. It's been my pleasure. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Wait, my voice last time tonight. I promise. All of our teams, please come on stage. Jury, you're free to go. They're all waiting. No, you guys too. Yeah, perfect. Let's take a group photo with all of our teams, right? Okay. All 12 finalists that participated today. Let's get on stage. Winners, bring your checks with you.